Into 2020 Vision Radio.
From Queen City, Nevis, 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 Nevis.
Hi, I'm Sister C of 2020 Vision Radio. Vision Radio is a non-profit making online radio station. All staff working to serve you, the listening and viewing public. As we serve, we also see the need to serve those who are not technically savvy, especially the elderly, the shut-ins, and persons with disabilities, to which end we are looking forward to take 2020 Vision to another level, of course, with your generous assistance of taking 2020 Vision Radio to the airwaves on the FM frequency. Go to our GoFundMe page, 2020 Vision Radio, and make a donation of which you can afford. Help us to help everyone in this quest. Thank you for what you're about to donate as we look forward to serving you online and in the not too distant future on 2020 Vision FM.
I'm here saying for myself represent for the Nevis Everything Agriculture Show. Big up Bankie, DJ X-Way. You know, so tune in, and if you're on the internet, zoom in. One love, from Nevis, everything, agriculture, show. Listen to the man, ain't no place like home. Me don't know about you.
It's Everything Agriculture with Bankie and Company, your weekly educational agriculture show on 2020 Vision Radio. Tune in every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. for us to learn, share, and grow together. Call in on WhatsApp at 1-869-669-7312. Using Digicel, call 766-7312, and our landline number is 469-7953. You can call us on the overseas line at 917-460-2187. From farming to livestock to fishing to agro-processing, we talk everything agriculture.
Our farmers and fishermen are our unsung heroes. It's time we honor them in our calypsos. We take them for granted, their sterling contribution. So I come to give them their due recognition. To these ordinary heroes, to them I must tip me hat. Not those who suck in the country and living off the fat. From sun up till sundown, they keep working tirelessly, building this land from the bottom up for the great love of their country. They are not rich and famous or powerful politicians. They are the movers and shakers, yes, feeding our nation. The fishermen who brave dangerous waters, yes, ensure the nation is fed. Swimming with sharks and barracudas, yes, to make an honest daily bread. The farmer whose back breaking toil, working long and hard to till the topsoil, fighting the weather and destructive monkeys, the fishermen and farmers are really key for food security in this country. With little resources, they accomplish the extraordinary. They are the true heroes, the ordinary heroes. Heaven knows they are our true heroes.
Yes, good evening and welcome to Everything Agriculture, your weekly agriculture program, educational show. I'm your host Bankie and my co-host over there, DJ X-Ray, smiling as usual. In the studio, we basically have a full house. We have some guests here. This show was, supposed to be in the making for a couple of weeks now, so we keep postponing because X-Ray had different appointments coming up, so we had to throw that off, and then the guests had, an appointment come up at the same time, so we just work around it, and but everything went smoothly. So I must say, Mr. Leonard Stapleton is in the house. I mean, welcome, big up. I mean, just say good evening again to all those at the sound of my voice in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. I mean, I know you guys, appreciate you guys tuning in every week just to hear what's going on new when it comes to the agriculture sector. And as I say, agriculture is life, just like our water is life. Everything revolves around us is agriculture. The house we live in, the vehicle we drive, the clothes we wear, the shoes we wear, basically everything, you know what I mean? The material we use, I mean, for our daily, the spoons, whatever it is, we just don't think like that. We just figure, well, oh, it's just a spoon, you know what I mean? It's just a car tire. But we're not thinking about, you know what I mean, the plastic bottles. Even everything in the studio, the computer screen, is just something come from nature itself, from under the ground, and turn into a plastic, a rubber, whatever. It's all raw material and just into a different, you know what I mean?
Even man, in the Bible, it says God took some earth
and make man, right? And then back to the earth we're going to, right? All right, so that's what I'm just say good evening to those in the diaspora, those as far as Asia, Africa, those in the UK, as usual, big up Tilleman up there. Also, you know, Renford have some family up there, work on the midnight shift, and he would not go to sleep. We're just going to make sure he tune in and listen to the show, and you understand, as everybody's X-ray, you got to make sure you get these comments out, because getting some pressure. So you know what I mean. You're slacking a little on the comments. So you make sure you get in the comments.
Last week I did.
Well, it happens sometimes.
I take the blame.
We only human. You know what I'm saying?
I was conscious of it, like when the show soon done, and
yes.
I said, yeah.
All right, cool. You know, I love still. You know, you understand. The people want to hear the, you know what I mean, the comments read and stuff like that. But sometimes the show going so fast we can't keep up at the same time. But we apologize for all those little hiccups here and there. But we're gonna fine tune it. I mean. My thing is, I wanted to get, Mr. Stapleton in the house, because agriculture, is a very serious sector. And if you guys realize it, I know how far you're going to reach. Might reach to a point where you might have to, can't come in the studio no more because of all this vaccine and this and, you know what I mean, and stuff. So then, might have to, I think we've done enough shows that could replay it. Unless I have to just get more with the station where I live at and continue from there. Whatever it is, we'll figure it out, you understand? But I just want to say that we have, I listen to you on a radio station, that's why, I end up getting in contact with you. And it was along the same, I'm a person who believe in our ancestors, and everything I do, I pay homage to it, you know what I mean? To nature itself, the sun, the rain, even just feeling the material here. You have to appreciate it, because when you close the garden, you understand what I'm saying? So we just don't take things for granted. This water bottle feel, the coloration, the color of it, it's just everything we're supposed to really appreciate. But we tend to lose ourselves and don't tend to grasp things. It's like sometimes the people around and they'll say, oh, them guys down there, what's that? The man just beating the Congo drum and they're laughing. Because we don't want to connect with who we are as a person. Right. And then I'm the person you will find, look at the Methodist church and feel the stones, the edges, those 45 and those crown moldings. I say, what the hell is this? No, man, there have to be alien cut these things, man. Some kind of special machine have to cut these stones. Because, and then when you go around, you see some of the stone walls, the size of cars, you wonder how the hell they get in these places. We'll put them there. No crane there, in times there. So how a stone wall can get from one point down from one road, Hamilton road, go straight up into the mountain, all in a kind of different angles. There was something wrong. The history we told about us was wrong. And my point of bringing you here as a historian, Mr. Leonard, is Leonard, yes, is that our ancestors were brought here for one purpose, agriculture, basically. And somehow we still want to look at agriculture in a negative way, because our ancestors never get paid over all this time. And then now we're still not grasping it, in the sense of COVID come and take over and everything shut down. And then we've been shut down over a year now, and no plans have been made to say, well, to diversify the economy in a sense like that. I don't know. You understand? But the point I want to prove is that agriculture, we must invest in agriculture. Once we are the owners, the land owners, and we are the owners of the business, we're providing jobs for ourselves, we can't go wrong. So I wanted the places of memories, and believe me, you still left out a lot of stuff out of this book. Beautiful book, and I talked about it before, and this book, and you say also in some of the schools. Most schools,
This would be all the primary schools.
All the primary school,
Yeah.
and high schools, the colleges and stuff like that.
The way it's, you want me to start to speak now?
Yeah, go ahead, sure.
Right. Well, before I start to speak,
Yes.
I'll probably just let the the lady introduce herself first, and then I'll go after.
Oh,
Yeah.
First, you want to say something? Well, I mean,
Come
just
you
by,
wait-
just by,
you
you wait too.
you
I'm
introduce
from the Bankie, I'm from the old school, you know, so my grandmother come back if I
I
start
don't want
talking.
to put on this part right now. Just get
Yeah.
it. All right,
Well, she
mean.
could just introduce herself, and then I'll go afterwards.
All right, well,
Well, good evening, everyone. Wherever you are, my name is Jamila King, daughter of, the King.
Bankie.
I'm here, Bankie, yes, that's my dad. Very proud of him and this show and everything it's been standing for. I'm just here to show my support. I'm here to learn as a student and hopefully to carry on something that I can, impose on the next generation. And, yeah.
Excellent. Good, Bankie.
well, I tried. I mean, let me say this. I was a part of, all of us go through the same system in high school. I mean, I grew up in an environment where I understand business because of my mom and my uncles and stuff like that. So they always putting money in all of us pocket. My sister, my other siblings, the same. Whatever chores we do, we work around them. Kingsley come in, Uncle Carlton, we do something, but we get paid. So it's not never seen like hard work. Whatever my cousin Putty, we go and work on a house, and if there's $50 at the end of the week. Even if you feel like you're entitled to more, you get something.
It's something. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Go to Uncle Mans with Brino, wherever we go, you get money in pocket. So you always see, construction. You see them as skills, are just as professional the same way. Because and all this, my family, they work for themselves. So it was never an issue. All this hard work, I had not to look no on. So and it's the right thing to, and this will skill our people. You want to always be bringing in people to do the work, and then we're going to end up being the laborers. And it's the same when it comes to agriculture. You have to have skilled people to. You can't get up and go a plant and understand how to grow. So I mean, our ancestors really had it done because it was part of our culture all the time. Plus, we are built for any environment, basically, in a sense, to adapt. So they find the perfect machine, you understand, to turn the engine, which was also used against to manipulate the situation, and then somehow end up hate ourselves and now end up and always want to look at somebody else to be our breadwinner. Well, me not believe in that. You know what I'm saying? And everything agriculture is about, you know what I mean? Educating our people and stand up for our people and prove that what I'm saying here, whether it's your health, is your food. Because all these one, okay, long mango, she load down vaccine right here. All right? Yeah, and I'm just saying this. I'm just the Prime Minister Mark, whoever. Soursop vaccine right here. Silk banana, green banana, cane fig. You understand? And I got many more. So you have more vaccines. You understand? Where these come from. So I'm just saying all this to say, I mean, your food is your medicine, and it's important to build your immune system. The sun, I don't like to call it a vitamin. I want to call it a hormone. Your kryptonite. You know when we say Superman? When the kryptonite, well, the sun is all kryptonite. Because if you don't go out in the sun, you'll feel tired. You'll feel miserable. You know what I mean? If you not feel unless you get the sun energy. You understand? To boost you, and it's a reality about it. And then we have this water around us. I said last week, Jesus born a Nevis, Yeah, and I'm gonna keep saying it again because you can't tell me we survive our ancestors. I remember one time I was on a boat coming over from St. Kitts when the tourism industry was going on. I think I never like tourism, right? Always, because we learned it in primary school. The negatives that they told you about tourism. It's like I see it in my face. I wonder what if it means what's looking at this like that? Because I tell you how you change your culture, they take your land, they provide some mediocre work, you know what I mean? But we just get one or two little management position and then just, you know what I mean? And just never like it. And it really was the right thing. You always go there for your first, you got instinct. You know, because everything about manipulating us, we just the one cleaning, servants, and then those who on top, whatever, you know what I mean, encourage it. But this book here, Places and Memories, I wanted to speak on behalf
Okay.
of that. And where did this come about, and where you get this this consciousness?
Wait, you know. Wait. Before me get licks again,
Yes, something
we get comments.
Already?
Quite a lot. So
Already?
let me get in some,
What is it?
and then we move on because
Already. Okay,
if they carried from last week to this week. So I got to big up Birdman in the place.
Yes.
Even Jeffers watching from the UK. Rastagal Davis. You know, blessed night to the panel.
Definitely.
Elvia Foster David, that's my cousin, and she makes sure she share the link. And Birdman says, "Welcome to my former classmate, Leonard."
Yeah, that's me by McNeil.
And he drop in a plug, so pick up the book at your local bookstore.
Nice.
And so New York in the house also. Jetty Taylor is here, and he said, "Boy, the table look maga today." You know.
Man,
Yeah.
just walk with me, man. Just walk with me, Jetty. Just walk with me.
And of course, Laughton Pemberton is in the house. So blessed
Nice.
good night and good night to everybody else.
Yes, big up
who's
to all
locked
who,
in right now.
who listening. On the internet and those who viewing. Who that? Your phone there?
Well, whoever do it, don't
All
shut
right.
up. So we
Rookie mistake.
All right.
Oh, okay. So we jump in now.
Yes.
Right, Bankie, I want to first thank you for inviting me to your show.
I appreciate it.
Okay,
Yes.
and before I even go any further,
Yes.
in case I forget to say it,
Yes.
I would like to really thank you for the kind of work you're doing. The work you're doing is a shining example of what this society is supposed to be. It is an example and a reminder of what made Nevis. Okay? You were so correct when you said that the islands were inhabited and populated by all the different races, from the Indians, Europeans
Yes.
to us, because of agriculture. Okay? As a matter of fact, the Indians chose St. Kitts and Nevis because of the beautiful waters and the fertile land.
True.
They lived on all the other islands and they named them according to their characteristics. When it came to the island of Nevis, they recognized no other island had water, the quality and the kind of beauty and so forth in terms of the prolification of springs and so forth.
Yes.
Like Nevis. So the name Nevis, Uwali, which means the land of beautiful waters.
Definitely.
When it comes to St. Kitts,
Yes.
they named the island Layamiga because having lived on all the Caribbean islands, they have never come across an island as fertile as St. Kitts. Now, some of these have been symbolized in some of our national symbols, like the flag.
True.
We have the green in the flag to represent the fertile land. You ask the children, what the green in the flag for? They will say it's fertile land.
Yes. Definitely.
How come every month we in the supermarket with two long hand coming out with food?
What do you mean? Can you look nice pushing a
We
cart?
don't have any food growing
No.
in the land of beautiful waters, and we don't have food growing on Layamiga, the most fertile land in the Caribbean, enough to feed
True.
the people of St. Kitts and Nevis.
Yes.
And that is why what you're doing is so important. Because there was a time when Nevis used to even feed the people from Layamiga.
True. Yes.
And the people from Layamiga used to plan to feed other people also.
Definitely.
So the nation of St. Kitts and Nevis used to be the bread basket.
So we drop the ball somewhere.
We more than drop the ball. Okay?
Yes.
I like to say that if we don't change, based on the examples our recent ancestors, I'm not even going as far back as the enslaved Africans.
Of course.
Because even me and all need punishing.
True.
Okay?
Yes.
I was brought up by my grandparents. And the only thing that I had to go to shop to buy was butter, cooking oil. Sometimes not even that.
True.
because the coconut oil would.
Exactly. Of course. I got you.
Okay?
Yes. That's the better one too.
And if we feel fancy, maybe 1 or 2 ounces of cheese or sausage or luncheon meat. Every single thing else came from the land.
True.
And I saw them plant, maintain the land, and harvest and cook the food.
Fresh.
Right? And that's why I'm including myself in the set of people that need some good blowers. Because we ought not to have been in such a predicament when this COVID virus hit. That people so frightened that they're going to dead hungry. And the children gone dead hungry.
Actually, you're frightened?
Because
He's safe.
You be safe?
the reality was that it may not have been possible for ships to come with the millions of dollars worth of food to feed us. Imagine that.
Yes.
You know, I always tell myself, when some of us die, the first thing you're going to feel on the other side is one backhand slap in your face from your ancestors.
True. I believe that too.
You mean to say, we taught you all these things. It's not for want of knowledge.
Yes.
Okay? Look at your Bankie. You come here every week. And there are others in the community who try to teach agriculture. The Ministry of Agriculture out there pushing it.
Definitely.
And still we go with dollars into the supermarket to come out with a plastic bag of food. We don't even know how the food get here. What kind of people grow the food.
Definitely.
What they throw on the food. What kind of poison in it.
True.
And them kind of things there.
True.
And we choose all of that. And we have beautiful waters and the most fertile soil in the Caribbean.
Definitely.
And we're in this kind of state. And so we bring ourselves back to places of memory.
Yes.
You want me to speak about the book?
How we come about?
How we came about.
Yes.
Well, it started as a UNESCO project.
Okay.
Somewhere along the line, somebody recommended that I write a book.
Okay.
And the people at the UNESCO Commission, they were told that Leonard Stapleton know a lot of local history.
Nice.
And he showed thing. And I go back again to my grandparents. The reason why I know a lot of history is because old people hear me.
True.
Okay? I like all kind of old things. Okay?
Yes.
You're watching me over.
Me too, me
if I like old woman too? But so the passion for learning about the heritage
Very important.
always been there.
Very important.
Okay? And so I accepted. And but things fell through, long and short of it.
Yes.
The things, whatever arrangement it was, fell through. But I continued with the project because I believe it's important for the people of St. Kitts and Nevis to know about the heritage.
Definitely.
And the approach, once you read the book, you'll realize every single parish on St. Kitts is covered.
Yes.
Every single parish on Nevis is covered.
True.
When you read it, the language is simple. You could give it to your grade 2 child.
Definitely.
You could give it to your university scholar.
True.
And each one going to find something and be able to enjoy
Very
it.
easy to enjoy.
Right.
And easy to read.
The reason being,
yes,
there are sites, monuments built by our ancestors.
Let me interject.
Mm.
So someone was asking if the book is available on Amazon.
No. Okay? I'm very old-timeish. I'm going to do it soon.
Yes.
But I wanted our people here on St. Kitts and Nevis first to get this. It's not easy when somebody out there know more about your country than who live here.
Definitely.
Okay?
There's a question.
I could name a couple afterwards. I could name a couple of places that were bought by speculators from overseas because people here didn't know the rich history and significance behind the place.
True.
All I see is some old stone buildings and the thing, and I say, and some bush.
Yeah, and that's it.
And I say, oh man, go with it. I want that off my hand.
Definitely.
Lo and behold,
Yes.
This is the Holy Grail.
Yes.
This is where this thing started. This important man lived here.
Let me interject you. Where we don't have a rich sense of love of our past, of who we are as a
But
a
you
people.
first have to know your past. Over the years,
Yeah.
we've been learning about everybody else's past.
Yes.
What's with the introduction of technology? We even know if somebody poop in their apartment in New York, somebody
Yeah.
put that gone viral.
Yes.
But we don't know the significance of that monument built by our ancestors.
So who
there.
to blame for that?
All of us.
All of us.
Every single one of us who not
Of course.
doing
Our part.
their part
Yeah.
in imparting whatever you learned
Yes.
growing up to the young generation.
But-
whatever you learned that was good.
True, but parents to be held a lot of responsibility for educating their children, but somehow we tend to leave it through the churches and the school because we trust those two institutions, and those two institutions for me is the most organized crime. That no. There's LAPD and NYPD, the most organized and corruptive. You know what I mean? Things you put together, and that's always see the system, those two systems. You understand? Because we just hide who we are and just entertain wrong. Because even in high school, my high school teachers, I challenge them. You see, because I grew up in an environment where my uncles, them are conscious, my cousins, them are conscious. So they would speak, they might not have the literature to, but they speak. You see what I'm saying? They eat properly, they cut the ital part, and then, you know what I mean, they have lax, they use the herb, but they speak consciousness. And so you learn, the educators in a way where, by that, then wait, you know what I'm saying? Don't take on this with this. You know what I'm saying? And then you realize those are people are being fight upon because they're standing up. Is like they'll say, oh, Rasta, righteous Africans stand tall all the time. You understand? You understand? So then they fight that because of your consciousness. And then look at today, everything we were standing for makes sense. The food, the herb. So it come back to now, it's so much compensation is there owed to me. 40 acres plus compensation for herb. You want your 40 acres, and you pass it down to me. Because I collecting 40 acres by the minute, eh? And I refuse nothing. You want your own one? Oh, you're smart. Something rubbing off on you. You can't wait. But I mean, I just saying all this to come back around to say, I mean, our past is very rich. We come from a very rich place of, you know what I mean, of consciousness and spirituality, but somehow we have lost that, and somehow those who end up move out a little and get forward just use that. Let me read something there that a wise man had told me lately. Remember, there was Massa, right? No tourism. Then there was house slaves, no so-called leaders of government, politician, whatever you want to call them. You understand? And then there were the field slave. No, I guess they may mean now the citizens are always said are the field slave, eh? The wise man say no. Then the house slave get money to keep the field slave in check for Massa. You understand? Remember that? Remember the Massa at the top, and you know what I mean. Then which was no tourism. So then if the field slave become their own bosses, okay, then Massa is no longer needed. You see the logic? And then the house slave and the field slave now on the same level. The house slave no want that. No, sir. So this how we need to be put aside. You understand? All of us are equal. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm reading your literature along with other literature and telling me our ancestors survived this trip just to when they captured, they have got that long journey. Imagine you captured 3,000 people from one part in Africa, along with a set of camel. And if you got you all just treading and get talking and shuckle upon them and a big ball of hole in their hand and all these things. And they have to walk for hours. They're dead. Eh? Sometimes when they try to reach the port, everybody dead. Camel dead, people dead. And then the little survive till the ship get packed. So it will probably take months to pack that ship. If so much people are dead all the time with him. And then those two who survive here, so only 20 of them, you understand? And who survive.
You know what that tells you?
Man, trust me, we tough.
Right. Because we who live here
Yes.
are the descendants of those strong people.
Yes.
But if one of them ancestors would come back here, they wouldn't recognize us because we're moving like we're weak.
Definitely.
Okay? And that is not just physical strength, right? You have to be mentally strong
Yes.
and spiritually strong. But when it comes to spirituality, there's no race on the planet as spiritually strong as the black race. Okay? There's some people who cannot even keep up with the spirituality, so they say they're atheists.
True.
They don't believe any God.
Of course. Many of them on here. Many.
You know, when you can beat the man at cricket, you stop playing the cricket match altogether. You go home. But to get back to the book.
Yes.
You know, we were discussing some things before, and I told you I used to do some tours.
Definitely.
These are what you call premium tours.
Yeah.
You would understand what I have to say. I say it so that it improves the person you hear in it. So you're not just getting history.
Of course.
And it dawned on me that when I finish a tour, the tourist who's not from here
Yes.
is more educated.
Of course.
And their spirit is more uplifted.
True.
Based on the stories I told them of our local ancestors here.
Excuse me.
And I said, Tal, this is not right. Our people need to know this also. And so that is why, even though things fell through, with it, I went ahead with the book. And one of the things I realized, Bankie, when you start to do certain things, when you start to do certain things in life, make sure what you're setting out to do is noble.
True. Yes.
Once you know you're doing something right,
yes,
it doesn't matter what challenges come your way, go through with it still.
Definitely.
You know why? I started to get some challenges from people that look like me. People who are supposed to be close to me when it came to the book.
Really?
Yes. And when I look at it, I say, you know what? It seems as if the ancestors want me to feel some of the pressure
I got it.
they felt.
Definitely.
Because some of them were sold to white people in Africa by black people too, you know.
Of course.
For thousands of years before them Europeans came, this thing was going on there.
Definitely.
We still have it today.
Of course.
I sure in your lifetime,
of course,
a couple of black men don't undermine you and probably still undermine you.
In our stop.
Okay.
That thing ain't gonna stop.
And so people took advantage of that.
Definitely.
And it seemed as if I had to go through some struggles so that when I start to write about the experiences
you understand it
of the ancestors, I could write from a position of passion and experience. So I could represent the contributions of the ancestors properly. You can't come and nothing never happened to you. And you're right about people where all kind of things happen to.
True.
Some kind of things got to happen to you.
Yes.
So you could feel it. Okay? And so that's why I tell anybody, once choose something good to do in life.
Definitely.
Choose a purpose. You got to got a purpose. You have to have a plan. And once you pursue it, it doesn't matter what comes. God through still.
True.
Even if you fail, the effort would be enough to inspire a whole generation, and one of them that might succeed after you.
Well, as you see this evening, X was there telling me if I know some young lady and about get inspired by the show. So X, well, my job has done. I guess I don't have to come in here no more. And that is just, and many more people. You understand? Yes. I count out my hands, my toes, and include you all one, and still keep climbing. So
what you're doing is an important thing.
I'm trying. You understand? I don't just if this. I speak to the creator a lot. You understand? And whatever he tell me do, I don't just tell him guide me. You know what I'm saying? So whatever come out of me is the Father putting words in my mouth, and He guided me in a sense like that. So you fight against me, you're fighting against the Creator. It make no sense. Cause
I'm glad you mentioned the Creator. Because
well, that's how we function.
Anybody who's a farmer,
is
doing the work of God. Because when God made Adam and Eve, where He put them?
Of course, in the
In
garden.
a garden.
Definitely.
I put them in a wall house.
True.
How come we taking up all the family and putting them in a wall house and so on.
Boy.
Okay?
So-
But what I'm trying to say here.
Yes.
Okay? And in saying this, I will defend. There's still some hope. Because
Yes.
one of the things I try to do with the book is to keep it positive,
Definitely.
but keep it real.
Of course.
So the realness would be upfront.
Yes.
The reality about how we got here from Africa.
Ca-
In case you're not reading no further in the
Yes.
book, you're going to get it. But then after that, you should draw some positive things out of the experiences and contributions of the ancestors. So every single story after that
Yes.
speaks to something that you could draw on. Because, Lord man, we can't let them suffer
Definitely.
and go through all them shame there for nothing. There's something there. And that is why I say, even if in the end it was slavery,
Yes.
what they did during slavery that we could still see here today,
It's lasted. It's lasted.
right?
And they do it neatly too.
Man, when you look at-
Perfection.
We got people go away for years to study and can't
Perfection.
even cut one of the stone them like how they cut on the
Perfection,
Bar
man.
Hotel.
Perfection.
You know?
Perfection. Because the amazing thing is,
So we could start show some pictures now. I like
yes,
to,
of course. One of the amazing thing about this, when I read this book, is the amount of sugar mill that goes on between these two islands.
Yes.
Here. It's hundreds, you know.
everyone built by the ancestors.
It's hundreds, you know. And these mill would not just knock up, you know. These chimneys are perfectly round,
Properly. Yeah.
properly, and remember, you're not doing it willingly, you know. You have been forced.
You know,
You've been forced to do.
the whole definition of slavery is labor without pay. And most of the time accompanied with brutality.
Yes.
And those are the circumstances and conditions under which our ancestors produce those masterpieces.
Yes. So you
All kind of hurricane and earthquake come.
still stand
And
up.
they're still there. They're standing for a reason.
Yes.
It's so that we, the descendants, would one day realize that the ancestors were sending us a message. They were not stupid people. Yes, they know that they're doing this thing for free. But they built the things then properly anyway. Even though it is for free
Yes.
and it's not for themselves.
Definitely.
It was for the white man.
Yes.
But 300, 400 years later, we could see that
Exodus.
our ancestors were a special kind of people.
We have a
They
caller.
were
We have a caller. We have a
the
caller.
best.
Yes.
Wow.
Not coming in. Caller coming in.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, just continue because
Okay.
I think something
Exactly.
is wrong with the line itself.
Oh,
Okay. All right. Continue.
Yes, Bankie. And the monument to speak about, the mills and all them things. there.
Definitely. Yes.
There's a reason why hurricane and earthquake not moving them. And if hurricane and earthquake now move them, I don't see why we should be moving them. Every chance we get to, there's a set of people out there. Do you know there's a set of people out there right now, black people,
Digging out stones.
digging out the stones.
Of course.
Ain't even know the meaning that their ancestors cut those stones.
Yeah.
And the stone is a symbolism of the excellence, the value of excellence. That when they did anything, they did it well,
Yes.
superbly, whether or not they're getting paid.
Definitely.
Because if you're going to do it well.
Yes.
It no matter what you're going to do.
Those-
It doesn't matter what it is you're doing. That is one of our legacy. And it is embedded in them same monuments.
I mean, we all see it around here now. The Bart Hotel, the churches around here. I mean, the New River Estate, Hamilton Estate. Is there so much
And that
sugar
is why
mills
I
around the
want to
island?
give some
Yes.
plugs
Yes.
to the different governments.
Yes.
Because I think it's from Sim Daniel to Joseph Parry up to Vance Amory up to right now Mark Rantley just announced the other day
Yes.
that we finally,
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't believe it. I have a whole section inside there on the Bart Hotel.
Yes.
I always thought that we've owned the Bart Hotel, only to hear now that we finally won the case.
Wow.
We finally won the case so that the Bath Hotel finally legally belongs to the people of Nevis. Let's hope it stays with the people of Nevis and nobody who's uneducated
Yes.
and not in touch with their ancestors go there and desecrate the place. Because I realize this thing, when it is owned by us now, the black people, the same black people want to tear it down and make it look ramshackle.
Definitely.
When it's owned by the white expatriate, it's going to keep up looking good.
True.
Why black people
But
like
why-
to
but
do
why is
things
that?
like that to black people?
But why is that?
Because it's been going on like that. Some of those people who were doing the killing of other black people in Africa, some of them themselves got captured
True.
and they come with the same mentality down here.
So genetics
So
then.
right now you still have mixed between those peaceful, spiritual, excellent people, brilliant people from Africa,
Yeah.
a set of warlike people who just believe in destruction also.
True. Definitely.
Okay? So we're not a pure set of people.
I understand.
We have some good and we have some rotten ones in between. That is why I wrote the book, to appeal to the young people,
Yes.
because a young child is fertile mind.
True.
You know how hard a kosher tree be to chop down when it's done big and hard?
Definitely.
And even when you don't chop it down, the roots so deep,
Mash up the chain, sir.
it grow back. So some people, you tell them these things and they say, yes, boy, I'm going to change. And when you look, 2 weeks later, they're going back to do the same stupidness. They're going to undermine another black person. They're going to break down some heritage site that we ancestors built. Okay? Plant up some things that you teach them to plant. You go back a year later, grass.
True.
But there are others. And thank God it's the majority of us
Yes.
are good descendants of the African. We just need guidance.
True.
And the young among us are the best among us. 'Cause I'm telling you, we are going through a period now, Bankie. We're going through a period where the young generation, they're the most brilliant ever.
True.
They have more opportunities ever. But faith is a tricky thing, you know. When we were growing up and we didn't have all this education, we were not so bright. I remember one time I was brought from St. James's Primary School to the dentist in town. And we dare not come out the gate. Because if we come out the gate and we come down, we last. We can't find back the dentist.
I got you.
Now I see young people walking all over the place, catching boat, going
Of
circuits,
course,
catching plane, going all over the. They are more
Yes.
alert.
Definitely.
They're far more intelligent.
Yes.
But they have not the wisdom that we got. And the wisdom, more than anything else, could take you farther than what intelligence. So we now have to make and empower our young people with wisdom.
Yes.
But if some of the adults don't have the wisdom themselves,
True.
dark dead with
True.
some of the young people. And so that is one of the reasons why the book was written in such a way.
Man, you have done a wonderful job,
Yeah.
and I keep bigging up this book because, I mean, my daughter here, from since she's small, you know what I mean? Sometimes she say, Dad, this book, you're too much, man. You understand? So listen, me tell you something. These books are what those people who want to control us be reading, you understand? So you got to build your mind, you understand? And know you have to be able to have a conversation about anything and don't let people fool you.
Yeah.
Because people come and tell you things that they believe greater than God themselves, just to manipulate your mind. But if you go read things, you understand? Know you're reading so that you can correct, you should be able to challenge your teacher, anyone, because they're just going by a syllabus. But at the end of the day, sad thing about it, I still got to write that same nonsense as a test to pass, because it's a system, and the system still continues. But the good thing about it, I got my own library too. So every time, 'cause I believe in my own writing our history, because whoever is going to write that history going to put their part as them are the savior to us, to save us. So all this we're speaking here, we've got our own agriculture, because we were brought here because of agriculture, of economic, you understand, purpose, to build other nations for free. But we still get compensated. Some don't want it. I have no problem with that, you know. I have no problem with who those don't want it. But I want mine. You see? Because I'm a farmer, and to farm you need land.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And if you could build hotels, Instead of planting 500 acres for hotel, put a golf down the place. We got 1,000 acres to plant, you know what I mean? 10 acres of a mango tree, 10 acres, you know what I mean, avocado, 10 acres of guava. And then I not, you know.
Call more than 10 acres, man.
Let me just say,
Yeah.
that's not nothing, you know. Yeah. But I'm just saying, these are things we need to start do now, and then in less than a year, 2 years, we can start to export, and at the same thing, agro processing stuff. Because let me tell you something. If we ain't gonna take this agriculture sector serious, we do me know. Because we're gonna call tourism need land, and you're gonna need our best land. So you might as well those branch and them we just waste the time little land where you there, and we just continue just work for whoever own the land. No, me just sit like that, you know.
I got to get in, you know, because
I
wouldn't make me get licks again. So
come in.
The people were asking, what is the name of the book?
Yes,
the book is Places of Memory, the experiences and contributions of the enslaved Africans and St. Kitts and Nevis. So it's 100% local history, and as I said, it's written in such a way that every child, it doesn't matter which parish the child lives in.
Yes.
The child would be in close proximity to one of those sites.
Definitely.
Okay? So there's no excuse now for the teacher to say, we don't have any money to go on a field trip.
True.
Get out the classroom, go down the road.
And you'll see one.
There's a site there.
Definitely.
That is profound.
Yes.
And the story is in the book right there.
Beautiful book, you know what I mean? Yep. Pictures, the picture colors perfect, you understand? And you know, I know this play, but then it's so many, I didn't know this name.
You didn't know the story behind it.
You didn't know, you know what I'm saying? It's just so many mills, and it's such a shame to see the mills, them, you know what I mean? The stones come off, and some of these estates have on some pineapple, some massive pineapple out of stones, you know. But who make these things here?
The black people.
I had to figure there's a special machine or somewhere coming down with a laser and cutting out these things, because these were some real...
You looked at the Methodist Church?
Of course.
You see the intricacies there?
Everything. Crown molding there, everything is there. Everything is there upon it.
The Bath Hotel, all and now, you could go inside there and run a hotel.
Definitely. Still standing.
It's still good.
And the beautiful about this thing, I mean, as a builder, I examine this thing to the fine print. You know? These walls are thick.
Yeah.
You understand? 4 feet thick, you know.
Yeah.
Well thick. And then packed up with other stones and then they put on the face stone outside and the inside.
You see, what happened in history, Bankie, if you don't write your own history,
yes,
you see how you could speak to the brilliant work of your ancestors.
Of course, I appreciate it and for what they have done, you understand?
Well, the other people who write in your history not going to talk it, so they might not even mention it.
Of course.
They might tell you those pyramids in Africa is some alien come down and put them there, because up to now they cannot figure out how do you move them big stones and put them on top of one another.
That's the whole point.
So, by the time the Europeans came to exploit Africa, we were already... Our people were already at such a pinnacle.
Definitely.
That we were more spiritual. And many of us were more spiritual.
True.
Living simple and everything.
Yes.
But they felt because these were spiritual sort of people, peace-loving people, that they don't have anything in their head.
Of course, of course.
Lo and behold, who they brought down as slaves had to show them a thing or two.
Definitely.
About agriculture.
And building.
About building.
Everything.
About
it's science, you know.
Even how to have fun.
True. Yes.
Look at music.
Everything.
Look at dancing.
Everything.
All these things that I guess if somebody born today would think that is the white people came up with it, like rock and roll and so forth.
Definitely.
Those came from black people.
Yes.
All those dancing and so forth, black people. Okay.
Yes.
So we also had a strong value of fun and happiness,
definitely.
or to express joy.
True. And that also suppress. They take some of the drums and then they make up a different type of drum and all those different stuff. So a lot, I mean, everything that they figure that they don't understand it, man. These are communication skills among us,
right?
That will brought us together. So if you're going to find something that bring people together, that is not good, because I mean, they can protest against you. So I mean, you got to suppress it and shut it down. So they were well monitored, but then they never stop. We are a race that never stop fighting. I mean, a matter of fact is today. I mean, there was a verdict passed down that happened in New York City with George Floyd. You know what I mean? Came in guilty. I mean, and all this. I mean, wasn't planned, but it just always show everything fall in place with this show, and we still a fight.
Yeah.
I mean, they just fear us.
I'll tell you one thing. It's not every white man is bad, you know. The book would highlight it.
Of course, you have many.
Because there's some heroes, even in slavery, white
Yes.
people who sacrificed themselves
Yes.
for black people. And you know, there are some black people who don't like to hear that.
Of course.
They just want to hear is the black people thing.
Yes.
I always
But there was some white people who got some knockout.
Yes.
I always thought about that in school. You know? I just say, you know, when they would give us the history, I say, you mean not even one of them, not even one data.
You know why a lot of it is not mentioned? Because a lot of those cases happened here in St. Kitts and Nevis.
Ah.
And for too long,
Kittitians
and Nevisians have not been writing the
Yes.
powerful history that we have here.
Can you speak of the Catholic Church, and then you have one at the St. James Anglican Church? You
And
also stand up,
in
you
St.
understand?
Kitts you
And
have
exactly.
The James Ramsey.
Yes.
They told you about you know, Wilberforce and all these people,
Definitely.
Clapham Sec and all those people who were, you know, doing things for emancipation. But James Ramsey preceded all of them.
Yes.
And James Ramsey got his inspiration in St. Kitts.
True.
With what he was seeing in the suffering for people on St. Kitts, our ancestors on St. Kitts.
Yes. And this was before
before
Wilberforce
then.
Wilberforce and
Okay.
when the Moore Commission and
Yes,
all this.
long
and,
before.
and long before. But
Years
this
before.
are not mentioned in history time,
They
as you said.
mentioned James Ramsey, but they hardly ever mentioned St. Kitts.
Yes.
So
yes.
it's time now that we write it.
Definitely.
And pay homage to these people. You also have lawyer James Stephen.
Yes.
If it wasn't for this man, we might have still be here, tied up in some chain.
True.
And he lived on St. Kitts, inspiration gotten from what he saw on St. Kitts. And he was the one who orchestrated the abolition of the slave trade, you know. That not just ended slave trading for St. Kitts and the whole of the British West Indian colonies.
Yes.
Then, when he get that done, remember I told you can't fire all the shots one time.
Of course,
you got to save some for the next battle.
Definitely.
The next battle after the trade was to get them slaves registered.
True.
Because if you're going to call them assets and chattel, well then register them as that.
Yes.
And get tax on that also.
There was a story where we were speaking where one of them went to court with the same lawyer, and then the slave master ended up having to pay $50. You remember the story? The storyline. I mean, this was like a big thing because how a slave cannot take his slave master to court is a property. You understand?
Right.
But I mean, they've been fighting, and that was like a historic moment. You see what I mean? But at the end of the day, $50 was a lot of money back then.
Back then was big money.
Because you weren't supposed to get the pay. So just to show you, I mean, you were just an asset.
Shuttle they call you.
Shuttle.
Yeah.
Yes.
They listed you among the stocks like sheep and goat and stuff.
Yes.
But you have to pay tax on your assets. So what lawyer James Stephen did was to come up with what you call a registry of slaves. He influenced the British to pass that law. And so every plantation had to now register the slaves. That is why now you could trace your ancestors back to some of these plantations and from then back to Africa where
Definitely.
they came from. Because of the stuff that guy did, you know.
Yes.
And what that happened, it turned the greed of the planter against himself. Because they're so greedy, like money. Want things and don't pay for it. Want labor and not pay for the labor.
True.
They did not want to pay tax on all them slaves. So some slaves were not registered. But the law also said if a black man ain't registered as a slave, he is free.
Free. I got
and
you.
so many of our ancestors were free because of that registry of slaves. So the guy was thinking,
yes,
white man, let me to say, is a white man again, and still
of
a white
course,
man.
Of course.
This is the next thing he did. He went now to try to influence Parliament and to educate the population up there that when you see these rich planters come back to England,
Yes.
this is how they're making their money.
Yes.
And for the poor black people down there,
Exploitation.
working them to death. And so when you see them posing up here with Ayo, they should hang them head in shame.
So he was putting himself at risk to talking against his own.
But listen, let me tell you this. He gave his life.
Yes.
When they were burying him, you know what they said? Yes, he was a brilliant liar. But history would remember James Stephen as one of the illustrious dead for the work he did to free, not the slaves,
Yes.
his black brothers and sisters. Back then, they were not considering us as people.
Yeah.
So how we could be brothers and sisters? So here was a white man going on the limb saying these are people, and they're more than people, they're my brothers and sisters.
Yes.
And the man was white like a chalk. So you had white people standing up for black people
Yes.
at a time where black people in Africa are sell out other black people.
And this was
And it's happening today still.
Of course. Of course.
When you there watch the white man down the road, the black man next to you, I do all kind of things undermine you. And most of the time, you help out that same black man.
True. True.
Okay? But as I said before, thank God, there are more good black people
Yes.
than bad black people. It just so
Definitely.
happened that the bad black people, them always want to show themselves. And the good black people, them, they keep quiet
True.
and tame too much. Okay? But the time always come where you can't be tame all the time,
Definitely.
even though you're good. All right?
We all over the place,
Yeah,
but
but
everything,
yeah.
but everything come back to agriculture.
Yeah.
So,
It's
so-
agriculture.
that's the whole point. That's what
Well-
that's the whole point I wanted to. I mean, so like we stray all over the but everything. went
You're
to
a
agriculture.
farmer. Before you could see the plant, you
Yes.
know, got to do all kind of things to tend to the soil, prepare the
course.
soil,
Yes.
fertilize it,
Definitely.
plant the seed, and then you see it grow.
Definitely.
So we're gonna come to
You're saying some pictures. We're talking
I want
about.
him to thing, you know.
Actually, you're good.
I'm doing so. Okay. All right.
So, folks, I mean, I hope you're in tune and keeping notes, because I mean, it just shows the importance. I mean, what your ancestors been through because of how serious agriculture been
Very
for generations
serious.
since creation.
We're gonna
Agriculture
come right there.
have always been, you understand, the backbone of our survival.
Bankie,
Yes.
you got a load of comments there.
Well,
Yeah.
we have to get part 2 and
Normally
part
when
3 of
I
this
do-
show.
Yeah, boy.
This,
let me
DJ, when I
tell
do
you.
this, I
Yes.
normally think because you could always address the comments at a different time, but you have to get the message out there.
Definitely.
I think that's why you bring me here for, you know.
Well, that's the whole
You
point.
see, I'm making
yeah,
up for
yeah,
them
yeah.
days.
Well,
what I
that's-
miss.
of course, definitely.
Well, he says so, me have the.
Well, just go
Let's-
through.
yeah, well,
go
we
through.
could try and move faster.
Yes.
That's just the launch of the book.
Yes.
Okay.
And stick at that because I would
Back
want to recognize His Excellency.
Back up.
So before he became the Governor General, he was always my mentor.
Okay.
You see how God put things in place?
Everything just
When I
flow.
they get him knocked down and all kind of things, and so
Yes.
he's there
Okay.
by my side.
And you can call his names
And
at least.
he's so taply seated.
So those who don't know who the gentleman
He's the
is.
one who did the foreword for the book.
Okay.
And do you know there are some persons who actually took
Offense?
tampered with the foreword?
Really?
That knowing that fate would have it that the man who forwarded tamper with would become the next Governor General.
True.
So he now becomes the Governor General, and here comes now the proper forward.
Yeah.
All right? And he was generous and nice enough to have the launch up at Government House.
Nice.
All right? And at the same time, I want to say thanks to Mr. Hodge,
Okay. Who Hodge?
Vincent Hodge. He's the present
Yes.
permanent secretary in education.
Okay.
And that is why I tell you, I would defend education a bit.
Definitely, of
because, yes, you have some problems
Yes.
there, but there's hope.
Of course. It's not a perfect
Because
system.
I had meetings after meetings
Mhm.
to try to get the book. The book was set up to go into the schools.
Okay.
All kind of problems.
Yes.
And so when he now
A book
became
like
the new,
this?
that same book, Well, the teachers waiting for it. I don't train the teachers and do all kind of things with the teachers, so they're waiting.
But do they read the book when they have it?
Well, those teachers who came to the training had
Yes.
to more than read. They had to go to the sites and see
Okay.
what I'm talking about.
Definite good.
And Mr. Hodge had arranged for that. But the reason why I want to single out Mr. Hodge, book was completed in 2012 and was not launched until 2016. And when I tell you the ancestors mean that you got to go through some stuff.
True.
So you could feel some of the things they felt.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about. But there's always hope.
True.
And so when I was told now, you have a new PS now, go and talk to this man. I said, but I don't talk to all kind of people.
Yeah.
I got to do this again.
True.
And so now I have to draw inspiration from some of the courage of some of the same people I write about.
Definitely.
The things that they had to endure, but
Of
they lived on.
course.
So I said, let me go. And within less than 15 minutes,
Yes.
less than 15 minutes, Mr. Hart said, approve.
Really?
He called a teacher, or
Mhm.
somebody in charge of the teacher, and said, you all were waiting for this book here, Places of Memory? Yes,
Yes.
Mr. Hart, long time. Some of the teachers don't get training.
Well, it means that he have some kind of consciousness.
15 minutes in pass,
Yeah.
and Mr. Hart don't make the decision.
There's a reason for that. I mean that he connect is something that he's a part of him all the time. His mind frame is always a part of his people, and want his people to be educated and know who they are. It's just like Marcus God will tell you. People without, you know what I mean, a knowledge of their past is like a truth or truth, right?
What happened to?
Same thing.
When you read the Bible, you read about angels, and they say the angels ain't got wings.
Of course.
So you're looking now for angels today with wings. Angels, there'll be people like you, Bankie, who going to teach somebody how to plant something to feed their family.
Yes.
That's the work of an angel too.
True.
The same way you got angel, you got devil too,
Of course, definitely.
We're going to go and thief the man crops and all them kind of things.
Definitely.
You have to be realistic these days. Don't look for no wings.
Yes.
Look for the good in people. Okay?
Yes.
Let's go through some more of the thing there. I try to include one with the children. Because
Okay.
it was for the children.
Nice.
Okay, so we could pass that now. Now we come to... You're saying anything? I'm not saying anything. Right.
Okay.
This is where the landing of Sir Thomas Warner in 1623. Don't let nobody fool you. Don't go buy no shot that mark on 1624. They got the shot mark on St. Kitts.
Yes.
Since 1624. When in 1623, the settlement was started.
I gotta go check my shirt when I go home.
A lot of people, every independence, a lot of people in St. Kitts buy this shirt. St. Kitts in 1624.
Mm-hmm.
And the place was settled in 1623.
So when they misprint, with that
Because they buy this shot them from them Indian stores. So they got Indians
Selling
put wrong history
and they don't
buy it.
don't
but
read
they
no
don't know
search.
either.
That's crazy.
Okay? So you see the importance of writing your own
Yes,
history.
Definitely.
Alright? So people, how kind of people come and make a fool of you if you don't
True.
know it? So it shows now the coming of Sir Thomas Warner. Okay? Let's move kind of quickly. Next one. Yeah. Okay. Right.
And this one is
This
showing
is
this.
yeah. This is one of your favorites. You keep asking about Bloody River, right?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Now, this is at Old Road. Old Road got two rivers.
Okay.
When you reach Bartlette, you're gonna meet the
Yeah.
East River.
Okay.
You know you reach it because there's a bridge there. The river now is being fed into a reservoir. Okay? If it wasn't for that reservoir, it would have still been running across, under the
road.
gut.
I
there.
got you.
The other river is the Wingfield River.
Okay.
But before that, it's on the old maps as the Black River. Now, midway between there is where Sir Thomas Warner landed. If you drive through Old Road right now, if I didn't tell you that, you wouldn't be able to find the place where he landed.
Okay.
And it's such a historic thing because this is the first British colony in the whole of the West Indies.
But we understand everybody live on the coastline in
Yeah.
all.
Still,
Yeah.
when election come, you see a kind of big sign of them and Farm and Labour. How come you can't put a sign half the size
True.
that say historic
Yes.
place? Landing of Sir Thomas Warner. This is where Chief Tegraman greeted him in 1623. so that your citizens don't be up and down Port Zantea by shot with wrong date.
Sure.
Okay?
Well, that is where you comes in, you know.
Huh?
That is where you comes in with all this information.
Yeah,
and
but when you speak the truth, sometimes you make enemies.
No, but I mean, otherwise, 100 years later, we will still look at
Yeah, I'm not afraid to give the correct date because
Yes.
this is a stamp,
Definitely.
a commemorated stamp in 1973, celebrating the 350th anniversary. This was a time when we were still a colony of Britain, and it's Britain print the stamp,
Wow.
and it's Britain formed the colony
Yes.
in 1623, and it's
they're still
Britain says
celebrating.
1623.
All right, then.
So don't let nobody else come and fool you.
Definitely.
Okay, that's why Kitishans and divisions got to write their own history.
But we have to have leaders who
There are
have the
other
same
books, you
mind
know.
frame too.
There are books written by other West Indians
Of
that say
course.
1624.
Wow.
Some say 1625.
Mm-hmm.
But as the more say, they're not from here.
True.
So, what you see here is where you are telling your daughter you have to know what you're reading. So you have
Yes.
to approach history with wisdom.
True.
Remember, the Indians didn't write their books, you know. They wrote on rocks and so forth, petroglyphs. But here you see, and even when you read Sir Thomas Warner's own log,
Mm-hmm.
it says, if it wasn't for the kindness of Chief Tegraman and his men, all of us, me, my wife, children, and the crew would all be dead. But they saved us by feeding us and by giving us shelter and a piece of land so that they could get involved in agriculture. Put the next slide, you see. Before they even plant one tobacco plant,
Yes.
which is what they started with, they built a fort. And one of the sources say, when Tegraman asked Warner, why you building that thing around
Yes.
the house? It is said that Warner told him, we plan to raise some chickens. But what Warner was doing is fortifying a
Of course.
fort.
Yeah.
Because Warner had a bad-minded intention.
Of course.
He recognized that the Indians were living on the most fertile land in the Caribbean. Because Warner, a couple of years before, had already scoped out St. Kitts and recognized that this was the prime island to form the first settlement. But you had to get rid
Of who is there?
of the inhabitants.
Of course. Definitely. But what we're doing here, nothing changed because you see most of our fertile land is still taken up by golf courses and stuff like that. So we're still doing the same
I was
thing.
hoping that you didn't catch on to that, right?
Well, of course, I will catch on to it.
So let's,
You always just say it.
but we move now.
Yes.
Let's move to the next slide. You notice,
Agriculture again.
Yeah, and, when you look at how lush, let's give credit to the artists.
Yes, definitely.
Look at how lush those leaves of the tobacco look. Now, one of the brilliant things that this demonstrates, the Indians were the only reason they were able to feed one of them is because
course.
they had the land planted out with food.
They had food all the time, yeah. True.
They were sustained
Yeah.
by the land on St. Kitts and Nevis
True.
for thousands of years. By the land,
Yes.
by the sea.
True.
So much so that they saved Warner. And Warner's only intention was to cultivate these islands. Agriculture.
True.
The islands were so precious that they were willing to murder the inhabitants to get these precious islands. And they did murder Tegraman. And when they murdered Tegraman in 1626, you know what Warner wrote? We had to kill them because we discovered they were cannibals and they were planning to kill us and eat us.
Propaganda.
Well, let me ask you something.
And the man will
You
feed
got
you.
wisdom.
Of course.
When you come in on your boat, hungry and weak, if Tegraman
That's the right
wanted to kill you and
Of
eat
course.
you, that would have been the right time.
Of course.
You don't lean down and all, no fat between
Yes.
there, good lean meat. I just see some people, when they're ready to kill a cattle, they put the cattle there
Fatten it up.
to get no food for a couple of days and then they kill it. You get good meat. That was the time. So how come now you want to kill them. And listen how the manner in which they killed Tegraman. In his sleep. While he was sleeping, right up there at the place you are called Caribel Batik.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go to the next slide because we're sticking with agriculture.
Yes.
Right, one of the things,
Cassava.
and Bankie, you had up a
Yaka.
big cassava that you have vested.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
I saw it
I
on
got-
your status.
It's two things my uncle man always tell me when it comes to food security. You must get plant banana and cassava. There's one thing I was having the ground.
Very
banana
good
and cassava.
choices. The cassava.
Yes.
You know the big talk about sustainability. Our ancestors never used them big words
Of
there,
course not,
but
yeah.
they knew.
Definitely.
They didn't talk it.
The work.
They did it. They worked
True.
in a sustainable way. Those ground provisions would never be destroyed by any hurricane.
True.
Okay? So we're frightened about food security for when a hurricane passes.
Yes.
That work that the Ministry of Agriculture doing in conjunction with you, Bankie, planting up Indian Castle.
You put me on
with
this spot.
ground provisions.
You put me on
I
this
put
spot.
in your, I have to give you accolades.
But you put me on this
And
spot.
you notice I'm also bigging up the government
Of
because
course, agriculture.
they're doing something good with that.
Yes.
Those plants, the potato, the cassava and all those things,
Yes.
I don't care how bad the hurricane be.
Now gonna win.
When the hurricane done, you could
Yes.
go down and dig out your cassava and
Definitely.
feed people
Definitely.
who don't have any food.
You can make flour. You can make mash. You can do
All
all
kind of
You can
things.
do all kind of stuff with and plus it's complex carbs.
Hence the genius of our ancestors again.
Yes.
One of the things that frightened the Europeans when they met the Indians eating the cassava meal and making cassava bread. Because it's two varieties. A sweet one.
Yeah. Yes.
And you have the
A
bitter one. The
definitely.
bitter one is where you make
Yes.
the meal from. But the liquid in there, the milk,
Yeah.
is deadly poison.
Of course, like contain cyanide.
A spoonful
Yes.
could kill 10 donkey.
Yes. You're supposed to eat cassava raw.
Okay.
That's the point of eating. You're supposed
But
to eat
you
it raw.
had, up to recently,
Yes.
I could call a name in Brookhill where I'm from. Susanna Brandy was one of them. Once you have that bit of cassava, you carry it to she know how to get that there thing with the milk squeeze out.
Of course.
And you don't throw away the milk, because that's starch. You don't have to buy a Niagara Falls
For your clothes,
starch.
for your clothes, start your clothes. Stiff.
Sometimes
like a lamppost. The stiff not come out.
Your foot weary. You could lean up in your pants and all. Your pants still look straight. But you need lean up inside. You don't. You're tired. You're supposed to what? You're supposed to don't faint and fall down, right? But your pants are stiff. That you're still straight. So that is why maybe back then the policemen never used to faint during the parade.
They close the hole
when
them
they
up.
don't faint, they close the hole them up. But it was magnificent starch. But
Definitely.
the genius was the ability of our ancestors to process that bitter cassava so that you could make the wholesome meal and it don't kill you.
True.
Because I'm telling you, I'm not kidding. The milk from the bitter cassava knock you right down. You have to hand it to them. And so that cassava was one of the things that were planted here.
As a matter of fact, the leaves also could be cooked and used also, the cassava leaves. It's just over the Easter vacation, a family of mine asked me for some cassava leaves. I said, the person who use cassava leaves is Africans. So I figure, well, whoever, in other parties have to be somebody from Africa, whatever it is. Which is, I have friends from Africa, and the leaves just can be cooked just like dashings and stuff like that, and Tanya, the young leaves as greens.
You serious?
Definitely. Yes.
That's why I like talking to you, Bankie.
Well, it's everything agriculture. You can use the dashing and Tanya leaves for your kanki the same way.
Oh, yeah?
Of course, same thing. Yes.
Well, okay, I know for the kanki thing. So this is the method that was used by the Indians. So you notice the main thing was to get the juice out systematically. Because they also used the juice.
Yes.
Not to starch their clothes, because they had the, just
wrap
primitive.
Around,
yeah,
of
they
course,
wrap around
of course,
thing.
yes.
But to tip the
arrow.
Right.
I got you.
And
yes.
sometimes as a means of catching fish too.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, that would surprise a lot of people. Our ancestors, when they came here, also discovered a plant. I think they call it dogwood or something. But I could back check for the correct
Yes.
name. But what they did with this plant was to cut it. Sometimes they mash it a bit. But once they put that into the sea, where the fish be, up
The fish just float up?
dozens of fish.
Really?
Float, and all they do is pick up the fish. It's a light poison enough to knock out the fish,
yes.
but good enough to eat.
That's crazy. And in
That
and
is-
in water.
That's adaptation.
Wow.
No,
In the water?
it's just enough to knock out the
Okay.
Fish.
yeah.
Yes.
All right. So
So
that's
so-
we could stay here all night and talk
Of
about
course,
some of the
definitely.
magical
Of course,
things
of
our
course, of
ancestors
course.
did, you know.
Of course.
All right, and the plants, we still have the plants here, you know.
Yes.
We still have the plants that the Indians use to tip the arrow, so that once the arrow catch you, you're going crazy, you know. If you don't get the antidote, you're dead in 3 days.
Wow.
All right, but you know, little knowledge is a dangerous thing. You got
Of
to
course.
drink well of the, drink deep of the well of knowledge.
I got you.
Let's go quickly. 'Cause time going run out on us.
I wonder if they don't know they're looking at right there. You know what that is?
That's the cassava.
Oh,
Yeah, that's actually, there's a lady in Old Road that does it still.
A few people here in the island, Hillarina do stuff like
Really,
that.
you know,
And I feel
those
like-
people, you have
Yes.
to revere them
Yes.
and document what they're doing for
Yeah,
posterity.
definitely.
It's important stuff.
I know a few people who do that.
so
I mean, I'm sure your uncle Evans, I think he was showing off some of these
Yes.
stuff. You understand for the East.
Uncle
East,
Evans.
Yes.
Elizabeth, he does that
Definitely.
pretty well.
Nice. Yes, he was showing
Pretty
off his
well.
stuff.
Pretty well. I think he also is very good in the leather craft too.
Definitely, of course, yes. He's a man of
Right.
lot of talent
right.
and skill.
So, what I remember I told you, we're not just intellect, you know. We
Yeah, of
also
course.
could do things.
No, the hands-on. I
with the
mean,
hands.
both him and his wife. I mean, have a beautiful
African.
garden. You understand the good of food, and as he's in
And
his craft,
spiritual too.
everything.
Spiritual.
Yes, you were saying something.
yeah, what they're cooking on? The
A piece of the old copper. The copper that
Okay,
they used to
okay.
boil the sugar in.
Yeah, the swimming pool, kind of swimming pool, a hot tub.
There's no
Yes.
where we at now?
Most of
Yes.
us would not.
Okay, yes. I usually include it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody see this is the most popular petroglyph in St. Kitts.
You know that is right. X-ray.
Wait, is?
Yeah, which village?
I don't remember the name of the village.
Old Road, that's
but
Old Road.
I remember. Yeah, I always remember going on tours and
see it?
stopping there.
Okay.
Yeah.
You went and rub it.
Huh?
You come out and
No,
rub it.
I've never done
Okay.
that.
Now, it is a fertility stone. Now, when you look at it closely, you'll notice one of the petroglyphs got a big belly.
Yes.
That would represent a pregnant female.
Okay.
The skinny one would be the male.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the belief is if you are a female and you're desirous of getting pregnant, increasing your chances of getting pregnant, you would rub the one with the big belly. Okay? You're
I
laughing.
got you.
If you're a male, you're desirous of impregnating your wife, you would rub the skinny one. Don't rub the one with the big belly, in other words.
got
You
you.
might end up get a big belly,
Belly
too.
too.
Okay? Now,
Yeah, never tell me that.
well, since
Yes.
remember I told you I do a little
Of
thing
course,
where I
of-
train the taxi drivers in
Yes.
St. Kitts.
I think I remember
And
that.
I've
actually.
been told now by some of those taxi drivers that when I would tell them to say it before you reach up, so that sometimes there's a line there, a queue,
Yes.
so they don't miss out on the opportunity to learn about
True.
the rock. So they could, if they have to pass quickly, they will see the rock.
Yes.
I've been told that after telling some of the tourists the story about the rock,
Do you want to jump out?
before this car stopped, the tourists done a broke the door open, running to go rub the store. But it is something that the Indians believed in. It wasn't exposed like that. It was not painted also. It was just the natural stone,
Yes.
and it was surrounded by. During the time of sugar, it was in the middle of the sugar cane. So somebody from the village had to walk you to it. Now it's right by the road, you could see it.
Yes.
Painted so that you could drive and also
See
watch it.
Yes.
Now, the Indians also had the cassava as a fertility crop. All right? Yes, the Indians and so forth. The Africans also had some sexual thing attached to it.
Okay.
But Bankie, I'm not going to go into the details of it.
I understand.
Because your show is supposed to be a wholesome show. So I'll leave that part out. But after the show, I'll tell you.
Yes.
Let's go to the next slide.
Folks, I hope you guys keeping your
Right.
notes.
Okay, so this is going to lead us into the tobacco plant that started the agriculture here
Yeah.
for the British. Now this was this was an easy crop.
Yes.
3 months from start to finish. So this is where the you hearing good?
No, she took off the headphones and
Oh.
went in front of the mic. So
This is where the Irish that you were speaking about earlier.
Yes.
This is where they came in. So they
Of
were
course.
those white indentured servants.
Yes.
They could have done the tobacco thing, but even then they were the sun, the thing, and everything was killing them out. But after murdering the Indians to plant a crop introduced to the Europeans by the same Indians, you know.
Yes.
Because you got to remember, Columbus in the 1400s was one of the first to see the tobacco plant.
True.
And he took back this, the Pope got addicted to the nicotine, was smoking. You know, back then they didn't say nicotine. They didn't
Yes.
know what was drawing them to it. But they just knew once they took a pull of the weed,
Yes, of course.
and they didn't call it tobacco back then like that in regular parlance, you know.
Yes.
They call it the weed.
Yes.
You know another crop what we call weed.
Of course.
Oh, but you get locked up for that weed there. And the man were growing weed,
Long time.
that weed there. And nobody get locked up. They were making millions.
Well, it's still like a papa tobacco.
Okay,
Same
but the thing now,
Yes.
it is said in some circles
Yeah.
that the Indians, because of the violent way and the bad-minded way they were killed and removed from these lands so that the white people could come in and plant the crop that they introduced to them. The tobacco is cursed because the Indians really use the tobacco for a lot of religious purposes, you know, to get them closer to their
course.
God so they could communicate. So most of the time it's the medicine man,
Yes.
the spiritual guy in the village who would
Using
be
it,
smoking
of
up
course.
a lot of that to put them on this psychological path and come back with whatever instructions from God. And so that is why it is something that should not be abused. So when you're smoking 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 pack
Yes.
for all kind of different reasons other than the spiritual thing, it is said that the Indians curse
I got
the
you.
tobacco. And when you check, if you don't believe, you check
Yes.
the statistics of all the people that
Yes.
die from lung cancer and all kind of things.
Yes. Tobacco. Yeah.
And most of them are the descendants of those same white people
True.
who brutalized the Indians. So it is said that the tobacco is
Curse.
cursed. All right? So stop mix the ganja with the tobacco.
Definitely.
Smoke the straight ganja.
Strictly ital. Strictly ital.
Okay?
Yes.
And then, you know, if you're going to do it, you must be on a spiritual
Yes.
kind of level.
wait, you say strictly ital?
Strictly ital. Straight.
Let's move.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Continue. I don't know. We get back there. Right. You were noticing, Bankie, that you said that it is such a crop that was so prolific around here.
They're still around.
Still around.
Still around. Still around. You find some in New River and a lot of estates. You'll be amazed how they last for all these hundreds
Yeah.
of years. Still around.
Amazing.
Yes.
When there's some people, I know there's a lady that lived close to the community center in Combermere. All she did was clear where she land and up sprang
Yes.
all these tobacco plants.
Yeah.
With
Still
the
around.
tobacco estate.
Yeah.
You know? Right. Let's move on. I want to get off the tobacco because I want to come to. Let's go. Right. So this is what is causing. Right. So, right. I come to Castro. Go back to Castro.
Castro?
Yeah.
It's Castro, you know, when he was
Of-
old.
yes.
But one thing about Castro, which I always admire, right?
Of course.
Castro institutionalized agriculture. Many of the palm trees you see in St. Kitts and Nevis, in America and all those places, were pioneered. The royal palm and all those things had their origins, meaning they were never anywhere on the planet before Cuba. They came out of Cuba. Palm trees, you know. Most of the palm trees, you know.
Yes.
Cuba continued also with the cultivation and processing of sugarcane for their own people.
True.
We and St. Kitts, we had the best sugar because we had the best soil.
Yes.
And we gave all of that up as soon as the white man turned it back on us. Like we can't do nothing for ourselves.
Yes.
It was okay when we were doing it
Yes.
to supply them.
Yes.
But now to do it to supply ourselves, we throw up our hand. All of a sudden we don't know what we are doing.
Yes, because remember, you said something earlier that I got you. But it's crazy. I mean, agriculture. You understand? We gotta have to be our owners if we're doing something.
Yes.
You understand what I mean? And I always say, I remember when the sugar industry closed. I was saying,
Bankie, something as important as that.
yes,
You should say it. Say it again. We should be the what?
the owners.
Okay.
It's common. It's just like our ancestors. I mean, who are working and never get paid, because we see things as you're not the owner, but if you're doing something for yourself, it's yours, you know. It's not hard work, you know. You're doing it for you, you know. And if you're doing it for generation who will benefit hundreds of years later, you're not hard work. You know what I'm saying? Because
That's correct.
if we want to get into an involvement to boost our economy in any sector and you understand, diversify our economy, agriculture must be one of those ways, along with other technology and other, you understand, business sector. But you must be able to feed yourself, because that's the only way you know. You're sure your people are healthy. We must develop our technology and we train in every sector, in medicine, in building, in farming, in whatever it is. Your people have to be skilled. Otherwise, you have to bring the skilled people from overseas.
When I see a man like you, Bankie, and the work you're doing, you're not just doing your thing, which you can do. You know, you have the right to do it.
Yeah.
Do your agriculture and keep it to yourself.
Of
Feed your
course.
family.
Definitely.
But you come and you share the knowledge,
Well,
and you encourage people
it's the right thing to
share
do.
the wonders of and benefits of agriculture.
But it's the right thing to do. My family didn't hide anything from me, and then everything I know, I don't just end up and just know it. You understand? I ask questions, sit with people like Dole, Mike, you understand, Elmina, Emontine,
You
Billy.
call him good names.
You know what I'm saying?
These are people.
Danny Ataton, my
Yes.
Uncle Mansa. It's just about, and those people pass on information same way too.
Yes.
So the way for me to do is add upon what I know and pass on information.
You just call
because
some
we
powerful names.
We never start. I mean,
That's what I told you.
Yes.
Got some bad citizens. But we got
Definitely.
some very good ones.
Of course.
Too.
Of course.
Very good ones.
Of course.
And as much as we can,
yes.
we give all the empowerment.
Yeah.
And that is why I'm so pleased, you know, that you're working in conjunction with the Ministry of Agriculture
Yes.
to do that kind of work. If we could have cloned you, we might got to send you Cuba, see if the man could clone and get 10 of you. You know, Cuba doing everything up there.
Of course,
you know?
of course,
Okay.
of course, of course.
But the reason why we go back to Castro,
yes.
I single out Castro. Castro's country, the Cubans have gotten all kind of embargo. All are now embargo.
Still survive.
And they still survive. You know why they survive?
They
Because agriculture
that's it.
was institutionalized. Castro and all would come out a president chair and get the fork and get the hook, get the cutlass and the machete.
Yes.
Vacha used to do it too.
That's what it's supposed to be.
And get down there,
You lead your people.
put your hand in the soil and get to work like everybody else.
Yes.
Agriculture.
Definitely.
And I thought you'd ask me how come I put on this thing here in such a hat. I want it to make a statement that we should adopt,
I got you.
not to become a communist state,
Yes.
but to adopt Castro and the people of Cuba passion for agriculture.
Culture.
And I think with people like you, we're on the right track. And
I appreciate it.
I know you're getting the support
Yes.
of the
But
minister.
Definitely, 100%.
Okay.
100%.
The minister.
The worst thing you can tell me, do what I want, eh?
Okay.
from the minister tell me do what I want.
Yes.
That's it, you know. Me and plant big by the hundreds.
That's
all
what I
tell me
was
do what I want.
frightened when you were saying 10 acre and 10 acre. I want you to say 100 and
Hundreds,
1,000 acre.
Of course.
Okay.
That's not an issue.
Because you cannot go wrong
Cannot go wrong.
when you're planting.
Yes.
Okay, you're doing the work of God. You're
Yes.
doing the work of the ancestors.
Yes. My thing is, I just had to say this. Too much boats come here. We were talking about the container boats coming in, and that's the only thing was coming in when they had the lockdown.
Yeah.
Coming in, just big businesses. It's a shame. And then these containers go empty, freezers. I mean, they just empty. Both dry freezers go out empty. They come in full, and the dry container go out empty. Nothing. That's gonna change. Guarantee you. Under my watch, gonna change. It's today telling the minister. You see what's going on here? You know, but we do all these, yeah. Mister, that's how we're going to start plant yet. You understand? We got to ship out food.
That's true.
Be able to sell food to our people cheap, and the rest can be exported.
Say that thing again, please.
We must be able to sell food to our people.
How? Sell it how?
Cheap.
Okay.
Everybody should be able to eat every
That's
fruit
the
and
other
vegetables.
thing again that we
You
lost
understand?
along
Got
the
to.
way from our ancestors.
That is my thing.
When they planted food,
Yes.
you didn't have to worry if you had enough money
Yes.
to buy fish and ground provision.
Yes.
It was the cheapest thing.
Yes.
Rice and all was cheaper.
Everything.
Chicken leg and all was cheaper.
Yes.
Now if you want to eat healthy, you better don't go down the market there.
Expensive.
$100 can't buy a thing.
Everybody
Okay?
should be able to
It
eat.
never used to be like so.
Everything. That's the problem we want here now.
Along with that is why you got to be commended. It is not just for carrying on the tradition of the ancestors, because there are others carrying it on.
Definitely.
But there are some who living out the value of kindness and sharing and looking out for the community, man.
True.
I remember growing up, and the fisherman would come, throw down the fish, and before he sell £1,
Yes.
tire off these, give that
Of
to the
course.
lady up the village. And one for the lady down. No money a pass.
Yes, definitely. By the time not needed to sell, yes.
Somebody butcher a pig,
Same thing.
another person growing pumpkin.
Yes. Everybody is
Take
sharing.
this two pumpkin over there to Harry.
Yeah.
You're gone.
Yes.
And I'm talking from experience.
Of course.
I gone with the two pumpkin.
Yes.
I coming back with around 5 to 10 pounds of
True,
pork.
true.
And not no
true,
worthless
true.
piece of pork.
Yes.
Half
Got
the
you.
rump.
Of course.
And I bring it and no money change. The
True.
community
That's it.
survive like that. That they look like it dead.
Of course it is.
And so, whereas you have some people involved in agriculture, it's not sweet like long ago. Because it's tough.
Yes,
Expensive.
Definitely.
And it's not supposed to be like that.
Not just expensive, you know. A lot of pesticides and herbicides have been used.
Being added, you kill people. Imagine you're trying to prevent cancer.
Yes.
And you're going to say, I'm going to eat fresh vegetables.
Yes.
I'm going to go to the market. I'm going to go to these farms. You ain't know. As they say locally, you kill yourself to save your life.
Of course.
Because that man, they done dose on all kind of poisonous things.
Yes.
On top of the thing, and you're going to go eat that.
You show us pictures here of sugar cane, of tobacco, and those things were going without any and I understand chemicals and all kind of different stuff, and survive for hundreds of years.
And grown by our ancestors.
And now you want to convince me. I don't care what kind of genius you think you went to Harvard or
Right.
Oxford. Cannot convince me, because the creator knows it better. Our ancestors have done it.
Yes.
And my thing is,
And they were producing more.
So you can't come bring me an error now and tell me and bring up whatever
That you
you
must
understand. This
put
green
these things on
evolution
it.
that there was. You understand that you have to put all this. I don't convince.
The other thing, how come you ain't call the biggest thing of all everybody ball out for monkey?
Well, monkey, that an issue. Because we can get it solved, you know, because you said we are human beings, you know, and God gave man dominion over all things.
I'll tell you. The ancestors,
Yes.
because they had a kinder heart than us, they never had no monkey problem like how people have monkey problem now.
True.
Somebody met me and said, oh, never had so many monkeys back then. I said, you had more monkeys back then. I should know.
Yeah, sure. Okay, I got you.
Okay? Because
Yes.
it's well documented,
Yes.
the amount of monkeys that used to be here. But one of the things that our ancestors used to do, up to recently.
Yes. Food.
I from Brickhill.
Yes.
And a lot of them had ground over what they call over a wire. That's over Madden area, close to the
Okay.
sea.
Yes.
Down at Potworks, up at Madden Mountain. I never see a fence
True.
around any plot of land yet. And I never see a scarecrow to frighten off any monkey. This is what they did. They would have their main crop, which I would call the serious crop.
Yes. And they got other decor.
Then they got some crops on the
They don't care about.
outskirts.
Definitely.
You call them the worthless crop.
Yes. I got you.
Them they for the monkey them.
True.
Meaning the planting with the monkey in mind and all.
Of course.
So that when the monkeys come, before they reach inside to the proper
They got to
crops,
break to different barriers.
they got food to eat. Sometimes the
yes.
monkey bellies are full.
You can't
Monkey
get
ain't
it.
even reach
Of course.
and eat off all of the worthless crop. You could even get some of the worthless crops
Yes.
to harvest.
But see, that's a
But people planted. Oh,
yeah, like that's a biblical like standard, because even in the Bible it talks about like not profiting off of all of your resources
Excellent.
and leaving some for the poor man.
Excellent.
And sometimes we don't, we don't even think about the other things, the other living,
Okay.
you know, organisms in our environment.
Not even the neighbor.
Yes.
Yeah, I never even heard of that
Not
theory.
even the neighbor. Yeah, it
True.
was practice.
Yes.
And so, a certain level of bad mind has been entrenched in farmers today.
True.
They're just all about making as much
Money,
money as
money.
possible. Do you know
Of course.
that there were some farmers, I was told this, some farmers even during the COVID
They
lockdown
realize, of course.
had crops in the farm when people need food and decided if they can't get the crop sell, they're going to let them rotten.
It's crazy. It's sad. It's sad. It's sad. Of course.
Our own people did that. Rather see the stuff them spoil. So it shows you
Yes.
they've lost. Yes, they continue with some of the skills.
Definitely.
But our ancestors ain't just had skills.
Of course.
They had a heart. They had good
Definitely.
values in their heart.
Definitely.
And the two work together.
Yes.
And that is why the monkey are yet down the crops.
True.
Because they think they're bad mind. See how bad mind go.
I got you.
It's too bad. The bad mindedness. Okay?
Definitely. I agree with you. I agree with you. I agree
Bad-mindedness.
with you. I agree with you. Definitely. Is the other day we showed a video when people dumping in the area and you see tomatoes and all this thing. I mean,
Whatless.
make no sense. Sweet potato and all this stuff you just dump on
Whatlessness.
the roadside when you could have give it to
When they
somebody.
could have all kind of people to
Yes.
give to, all kind of institutions you could give it to.
Definitely.
But they rather come tongue to dig out your eye. And sometimes they think them look so old and stale. Because the price so high.
Yes.
They're not turning over fast enough. But before they drop the price so you could turn over,
Of course.
they bring back the same old wrinkle up looking stuff to sell to you.
Definitely.
Okay? Full of poison and chemicals.
Yeah, but I mean, it's amazing how we have been indoctrinated. You understand? Yeah. We have been indoctrinated to feel like the food that coming out of coming into the country weekly is better. Because it look more shiny. You see, the silk banana there, you don't have to worry about it being covered in any plastic. It been growing naturally. The nice mountain breeze blowing it. You understand?
Yeah.
Just eat. Guarantee you. Anything you get from me, you don't have to worry. You can't get sick.
Watch.
Cannot get sick because it's guaranteed. Can I eat it?
You know,
My
sometimes
children
you
eating
eat
it.
food and you know get fat
Yes.
because the people who are feeding don't like you.
I got you. Of course.
It got some of those food.
Yes.
It's supposed to, you can't even on the package, you eat this, it's going to make you healthy.
True.
And you eat.
No,
And all kind of things that happen to you. You get sicker.
Definitely. Of course.
Because some of the food coming
Yes.
from places in America
Yes.
that don't like people down here.
Of course.
And the worst thing all you get, the
course.
things that they don't want, they can't sell in America because you ain't pass the standard, is what they send to all you.
But it's poison. But it's our people bringing it in.
Okay? The same kind of people that are going to put their knee
Yes.
on top of a black man, they can kill him.
Yes.
Are the same kind of people that grow them crops there. For
So-
all you to eat, you know.
Yes.
Them same people
True.
who don't like black people, and are you making them rich?
Yes. It's a sad thing. We really have a lot of work to do.
I'll also tell you something. You see what you're talking about, the breeze, the fresh breeze and
Of
everything?
course.
That's why it's so important to support local.
Yes. Definitely.
There's some people who would go and buy the cheap pork, cheap mutton
Yeah.
that's imported.
Don't know how it's grown, what the pork eat,
They
what
don't
the pig eat,
They
and all
don't
them
even
stuff.
know the air
Yeah, very
that
important.
the animals breathe in.
True,
The animals down here breathing in fresh air.
definitely.
The pigs and all them things, even though you don't live in those polluted countries,
Yes.
once you eat meat and those stuff from those countries,
Same thing.
it's better you live up there in the smog
Yes, same thing.
and all the poisonous air, because that toxin is stored in the fat of the animal.
JT
And
tell
when
us
you
careful with the pork in the car.
Huh?
He love his pork. JT tell us careful with
Well,
the
eat local pork. Jetty Taylor,
Yes,
local pork is the best in all the ways.
definitely. Everything local.
When you
can't go
eat
wrong.
the pork up
Yes.
there, and you say, "Oh, I don't want to buy no pork for no $10 a pound
Yes.
from the market.
Yes,
I rather buy the $4 a pound." You send yourself to the grave quick, because that pig done breathing all kind of toxic air
true.
and store it in the fat. And one thing I know about pork, I don't care what you do with it, fat gonna always be in it.
True, of course.
I know I like my pork fat,
Yes,
so I buy
yes.
local.
Definitely good.
Okay, I know some people that say when they're buying pork, they want it lean and all and things.
Yes.
If you eat pork, eat pork.
Yes.
Okay, don't run from the fat.
So once you're talking about when you want good quality
If you know you're
stuff,
afraid fat,
you understand.
Do not eat pork.
Once you want good quality stuff, when you're talking
You
about pork,
cannot
you check.
escape the thing, no
Want to
matter
big
what
up
you
the
do.
boy Gary Griffin at the Abattoir. You want a good local choice chops. I mean cuts and stuff like that. Just check the
Griffin.
Gary Griffin at the
I'm not a
Abattoir.
master.
You understand?
That
So
God leave this at somebody
anything you need when it comes to stuff like that, you know what I mean, the local products, just
took-
check the. You understand?
took
The local
meat
Abattoir. Gary will take
production
care of you.
and processing
Definitely.
to a level that even better than what we're getting from the States.
That's
So
what I'm trying to
if
show you.
If it's packaging you want and you want your meat look good,
We need to support assistance
That guy.
stuff and this container boat coming. We're supposed to have 20 and 30 containers ship out and go straight back to where it come from and send out food. And we can do it.
you know what is the real terrible thing, Bankie? As you talk about the containers coming in full
Yes.
and going back empty. Well, the amount of money we got to pay these people.
True.
If we were to shove the money in the container, the container will go back full of money.
True.
Every month that God send,
Yes.
St. Kitts and Nevis spend millions
Millions.
of dollars on food
Yes.
that could be grown here.
Easily.
That was grown here also
All the
in the
time,
past
of
by
course.
our ancestors.
If it's one thing I come here and say over and over, you know, we can grow food. We can't have to do nothing, you know. You just have to drop the seed in the ground, you know.
You took me up there.
That's all you got to do, you know.
Up there was like Eden. You better you put a sign and say Eden.
Yeah. Let me show you something about the beautiful thing in St. Kitts and Nevis, eh? Once you reach anywhere in the mountain area, you need no water to go nothing, you know.
Okay.
The moisture always there.
Hence,
No water. And
hence
in
the
the low
old
ground,
people in the mountain land.
yes.
They
But
have-
once you're on the low ground, no carry soil type. You can add your organic material, and once you got water, things gonna grow. Ain't nowhere Nevis fame when it come to planting. No way. You come right by the beach, you right down over Butlers where from, right down to the shoreline. No bother me. Be careful. Hotel go down there. They don't plant all kind of palm trees, all kind
You're
of
correct,
flowers,
you know.
and they won't go the same way.
I guess we're going to
So-
be planting the flowers and the plants with
We-
our people.
Yeah, so I can plant food anywhere you can plant food around here. You just gotta change the microclimate,
You're
create
correct.
windbreaks,
You're
and then you
correct.
plant different
You're correct.
different trees and windbreaks, and you'll be all right. You're safe. So we can grow food, and somehow just wish we're doing this. I mean, even if I don't know if what if I mean those the power may be how gonna, but we're making a head start. You understand? And once you're gonna lose me hand, that's all I gotta do. You know,
Right.
tell me what you want
Let go.
and give you the resources and guarantee you shortly we're going to be exporting food and we're going to be getting cheap food to eat and stuff like that.
What we're going to do, we're going to go to the slides quickly
Yes.
and see if we could get some of the questions in.
Yes.
Go back to Castro.
Castro.
Yes.
Okay then. Okay.
You like Castro?
Yeah, well, listen, I'm not a communist, you know.
Of course. No.
But I love what he did
Well, that's the whole point I'm getting
with
at.
agriculture up there.
Yes.
Okay? You see how he turned tobacco?
Definitely. Of course.
He didn't give up tobacco because the white man left.
Yes.
He
And-
continued with tobacco. He made
still.
tobacco stylish.
Yes.
He started to make cigars.
Definitely.
You have now what they call cigar aficionados.
Yes.
Okay?
Of course. Most expensive cigar you can get
It's Cuba.
Cuba, definitely.
Because that's how they marketed it.
Yes.
Do you know during the times of slavery, colonial times, when every country, the Caribbean islands were growing sugar, it is the St. Kitts Navy sugar that was a top class sugar.
Of course, you're producing more.
Nowadays, when you say top class, you could charge top class money.
Yes, true.
So we could have continued with the sugar and go it for so
course.
we could profit off of it. Turn to the next slide. This is what's going on right now. Years now. You see them locks you got on your head? You lucky you born around this time. You had them kind of locks there 30, 40 years ago.
You're not going to left back.
Anybody do anything bad and they come and they see you and you're the guy with it.
Yeah.
Because you got like Rasta men
Yes.
has gone through a lot of tribulation and suffering for their faith and for smoking the ganja.
Yes, definitely.
Get all kind of lock up, all kind of bullbud lick across the head for smoking ganja. A plant that is another example of the genius of our people. What happened now? Just
Well-
like how our culture
Yes.
was used by the same white people to make some money off of.
Coming back again.
The plant now is being propagated
Yes.
by the same white people who these people don't get afraid and say, we got to make sure you don't think because you can't go into these countries smelling a ganja and got ganja in your blood.
Yes.
Who going the most ganja now?
The same people and them who fight you, the same outside world.
You can
All
hear
of
me
them.
You could hear me?
Of course, can hear you.
Who going the most ganja?
The same outside
Same
world people and them.
Who now behind? Who now in last
We.
with the ganja?
We.
Are we? Why is it
course.
we got to always be last in these kind of things?
Because
Barry?
Marcus Garvey say black people love white people. I told you so earlier again. Look at this. The former prime minister bringing somebody to give a 300-400 whatever land again. You understand? And then he
It
said,
was a kitty from overseas? He was bringing in?
no.
Okay, then who was bringing it?
The same people was in white folks the same way, and then
I'm
the
also-
Rasta man then go put the Rasta man to work for the same white man. You hear my crap? You understand? And then you gonna pay them. You understand? This same man can't go anything for himself. And then you hear all these. Then last week I was listening to the show, the premiere show, Mr. Bankie show, and a gentleman calling from New York talking about, you know what I mean, and then one calling again from Jamaica saying how the Jamaica government had, and you know what I mean, the locals they ain't getting nothing, and you understand, and please don't let this thing happen to Nevis. Then the premier admit, I mean, he's a part of the same government, you understand, that really lapsing and dragging the foot. And
So
there's
the
a friend,
premier
Mr. Brantley.
willing to get into some ganja thing.
Yeah, but he willing, but then he willing to say, investors coming to invest and all this
No.
crap. You understand? And right there, me tell Mark, me and he gonna have a boss if I say he gonna run down the road. No. Nobody.
Well, I think we have enough
supposed to-
people here
Of course.
who could plant ganja.
They need to
good.
done with it. You only want, or investors want to come in to study.
Yeah.
Study what? Ain't nothing there to study.
No.
They need to do with this kind of
What
time.
I'm glad for is that
Yes.
he is willing
Of
to
course.
support the industry.
Support, but the support is
Yeah, that is groundbreaking, you know.
Definitely.
There was a time when the governments looked like they were afraid
of course.
to get into it.
For me, I don't. If this wasn't going on, you understand, COVID, I don't. On this show since last week we started this show, you hear me saying, by summer, you'll hear how much secret land don't give way to work and investors. I said all the time because I know how these people works. They don't want us to reach on the same up, by to move up. Because think about going, anybody could go weed, you know, because the soil on there ready. Once you got to do is keep moisture there, and the weed gonna go. You understand? Because the fire don't set it. You know what I'm saying? And all you have to do, harvest, hang it up, and enjoy. That's it. What do you want somebody to come tell you anything about how to go something far? You know, it makes sense to
Well,
me?
anybody could go Cuba and tell them how to make cigar?
No.
The same way Castro was able to push that tobacco thing till you have cigar aficionados.
Definitely.
The way I see the Rastamen them got all kind of style to prepare that ganja there.
Of course.
We supposed to got ganja aficionados down here too.
Definitely.
And make the ganja down here so special
Yes.
that we say if it is not St. Kitts Nevis ganja, then you not smoke nothing.
But you see the good thing
If you
about
want
this,
smoke it, this is the price.
we make good farmers. Females are very good farmers. We have very good, you know, because agriculture is not gender bias. So you have young people, young females, elderly people, different people into agriculture, and this is the next part of agriculture where you understand people can invest in and become, you know, what I mean, and really see their worth and move ahead and improve their farm in the same way.
Dr. Summer slides. This is the thing where the thing on turn off automatically at 9 o'clock.
No.
Okay.
We're not like that. We are
Okay,
we're very community oriented. You know what I mean? That's how we do it at 2020
Yes.
Vision.
Let's go
All
to
right.
the next. Okay, we're gonna think that's agriculture. We touch a lot on the sugar cane
Yes.
and how we really should have been in it still. Continue. We come into the next thing there. Go to
Okay.
the next slide.
Hold on. It like a,
You know, it's stuck now?
it stick a little bit. You just give it a little time.
Okay.
It come in, you know. Oh no, it look like it's take a long bit this time. So we just got to.
Okay, why are you
Okay.
doing that? What we were coming right? Rum.
A jam, we a jam.
Okay.
Rum. It's a video, but
Yes.
we won't have time to go into it. You know, Smiler's got a song, Rum.
Yeah, of course, the rum the drinking.
Rum. Okay.
Of course,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
Another song.
Do you know that our ancestors, one of the themes in the book, Places of Memory, is
Yes.
adaptation and survival.
Definitely, of course. Definitely.
Where they come from, they're not about making rum.
Yes.
They took one look at them engineers inside there, them distillers, and they were able to go in the bush, get an old pan, get an old piece of pipe, and make better rum
True.
than what the white man was doing.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, it's
Still
the
exists.
same ancestors had
Of
to go and
course.
show the white people how to make their rum a little better.
Yes.
And that tradition
Still
is
continues.
in Nevis.
Moonshine.
But you got to hide to
Hide.
drink a little Hammond.
Otherwise, they mash up your steel and all this craziness.
People still lock you up.
Same thing with the
Well,
marijuana.
go
same
check
thing.
the slides. Go,
Same
you see
thing.
something there where you see them and lock up somebody. They find somebody in
Yes.
the bush.
Yes,
doing
see,
the
you're right.
marijuana.
Yes.
This is what guys making their marijuana.
Yes.
They not marijuana.
The moonshine.
The
Hammond.
Hammond.
Yes.
A rich history behind
Yes.
the Hammond.
Of course.
We don't have time, Bankie.
But then you see America they have this show on Moonshine and the History Channel.
Yeah.
And these white guys are doing the same thing, call it moonshine, use the banana skin and all this stuff.
Yep.
And
our
we use the
Hammond
sugar
history
cane. Yes.
more exciting than
Of course.
them guys moonshine
Yes.
thing.
So there we go. Me think this is a big topic.
We don't
you know.
have. It's a good topic, but we don't have time, man. We may have to
You
do
will
it
be
next
back.
time.
Oh, definitely.
Next time.
You'll be back.
Okay?
Definitely.
I could give you the rundown on the Hammond.
Yes.
But what I want to say, this is another opportunity for an industry.
Yes.
We dare not let anybody fuss us.
Yes.
It would
Of
be
course.
a day in hell
Yes.
and a day of shame
Definitely.
if somebody from overseas come here and start to make Hammond and sell.
Man, we have some of the best hammer
But we
makers
don't
around
lock up
here.
so much man,
And
mash
then,
up so much man.
of course.
Still.
Then you have young people now, you know what I mean, coming in and adding the marijuana touch to it and doing the different
What they call it? You got a
formula.
name when it turn green.
Formula.
Formula.
Then they have different type, you know, they're using the apple pie. And,
I got some
and all the
stories
different-
with a
Yeah, man.
formula thing, but
You don't know.
Yes.
it shows you
I have a stack.
a touch of creativity
Yes.
with the marijuana and the Hammond
Yes.
that you wouldn't find anywhere else. First, you don't find nobody make Hammond anywhere else.
Yes. True.
And who mixing this thing and calling it formula?
Yes.
Not a soul else but here.
Of course.
That's
of course.
a pioneering thing.
True.
But you
very
got to
true.
hide to do it.
Yes. Yes.
You got to hide your battle. You can't put it up there next to the Hennessy.
It's crazy.
Sigh.
It's bad, eh?
We're keeping them our own, you know, and all these agricultural products.
Agriculture.
all these agricultural products.
We are doing what? Talking everything.
agriculture.
Agriculture, Bankie. You're onto a big thing here. I don't know. You come up with the title.
I
but-
went for the. It's not me. All I
title
tell you, went
sweet.
for the about yeah. We have a friend in the
Title sweet.
remember we only talking about everything agriculture. The man say, well, that's it there, you know. I say,
Yes.
what is it?
Everything
I say, well, you just say there. I say, what, everything agriculture. I say, well, that's
But
it.
The Hammond,
Yes,
it represents the creativity
Activity,
and
definitely.
industriousness
definitely.
of the
Yes.
black people here.
Yes,
Okay?
yes,
And it's about time we legalize the ganja
yes.
and the Hammond.
You can infuse Hammond with anything, whether it's aloe vera, you can add coconut or
Let me tell you
milk
this.
to it.
If you
infuse
got
anything.
diabetes
Yeah.
and you drink rum, you mash up.
Yes.
If you got high blood pressure and you drink rum, you're worse than mash up.
Yes.
But as the first thing I see, where man got diabetes and high blood pressure and they
Nothing
drink
to them.
Hammond and it relieve them.
Yeah. Nothing to them.
So there's something special that we're on to
Yeah.
with this Hammond. As a matter of fact, the aroma,
Yeah.
just smelling
Different.
that
Everything
thing
is
there.
different about it.
Yeah, one time I thought I had COVID. Oh, I reach for my bottle of
All
Hammond.
right, knock it out.
Smell up that.
It's
clean
medicine.
up
It's
me.
medicine. It's medicine.
Drink that thing. Then when I done, I fine.
It's medicine. Definitely, it's medicine.
I feel fine. I mean,
Yes.
it appeals to a lot of the different senses. It goes down smooth.
So, what is it made out of, the Hammond?
Molasses. Molasses. Yes,
The
from the
G-
sugar.
if you see how
The
they make
byproduct of making the sugar.
The
Yes.
genius is how they
Yes.
make it.
Yes, it's a still. Definitely.
Genius.
Yes, definitely.
That's our people.
Yes.
Let's go through a couple of more slides. So that's on the cover.
Yes.
It should be on the back cover. Right. So that's up at when you're going up to Madden's. To the that's the mill you're gonna pass before you reach the prison.
Wait on the,
Yeah.
on the flat part that's come by the
Yeah,
hill
what you
there.
call Russ,
Past
but
the
the proper
animals
name
them.
is Russell's Rest.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Yes.
Right. So I usually use that to highlight where the slaves live, the enslaved Africans,
Yes.
how they lived, how they planted their land, the crops that you would find in every yard. You must find a coconut tree.
True.
The coconut tree is one of the symbols of the creativity and industriousness of the Africans. We do nearly 1,000 things with the coconut tree.
Definitely. Jewelry, everything.
Innovative,
It's
creative.
definitely drink out of it, the everything,
Art,
cooking,
art and craft,
everything,
food,
everything, yes.
everything.
Fuel, yes,
You also had the calabash tree every yard,
yes,
and it is under the calabash tree
yes,
where the ancestors used to be buried. So I know when I was small, I saw a lot of calabash trees in the old people in yard. But I think by then the tradition done think you know this thing where you have to bury the person in the churchyard and all them things there. But it is under the calabash tree.
Well, I just say calabash tree.
Ancestors,
I want to tell you something. At Indian Castle, as you enter the gate, I planted a calabash tree right there.
I saw something down there. You know. That's you?
What?
When you planted it?
Lately,
I think I
last
saw
2 weeks.
something.
You have none down there.
You know had any?
But it's, I mean, I'm just planting a lot of indigenous stuff and stuff. Carry me calabash, you can make jewelry from it.
Is
You
over
can,
thing. Go over the name, boy.
it's a few
there's
around.
Brown Pasture. Where the community center is over that. There's a Rasta guy that lived there who used to fix bike and all them things there, man.
By doctor?
Johnny.
Where? Which area?
Is Johnny name?
Which area you mean?
He lived close to the community center. Huh? In that close to that area there.
Community center
There's a
in Coal Hill. Which area are you talking about? I'm trying to remember
in
the
that area,
bearing.
there, general area. But I know
You're pointing so you
yeah,
know.
well, Gingerland way. When you
Gingerland,
reach
what you
there,
mean?
Yes. I think I took note of a number of calabash tree, but it's a Rasta guy live there.
And the main road you mean?
No, you got to come off the main road. He live up that in that area.
But I can't get.
But the main point I want to make
Yes.
is that the Rasta men continue the
Of
tradition
course,
of
of course.
planting the calabash tree. I think the
yes.
fruit
Yes.
is of great significance to the Rasta man, in terms of using it for utensils and
Of
craft
course,
and
of
so
course,
forth.
of course.
Let's go quickly. Right. So that's the slave village. You notice you could make out the banana tree also.
Mm-hmm.
Everything they needed was there.
Yes.
So that's how we used to set up, Continue. Okay. Go ahead.
Actually, you cook the dish there?
No.
I wish. I wish.
You got some fish and
You
you
got the
got
breadfruit.
everything.
Breadfruit again now got all kind of
Definitely.
history
Of
behind
course,
it.
of course.
A lot of the history stem in terms of how it was brought here.
And you know we have the yellow one and the white one. There's a
No.
breadfruit inside the yellow,
And it's not ripe. I know when you ripe, it look kind of yellow.
No.
That's two different
All the time,
varieties.
yeah. You one white and one yellow all the time. Yes, one white and one yellow. It's two varieties. And the shape different. One elongated and one round.
Oh, okay. And then
Yeah.
which one is sweeter? The yellow one?
Yes, sir.
Both of them nice. I just love breadfruit. you
I
understand?
love breadfruit.
Yes, I love breadfruit.
I love breadfruit.
Yes.
I don't have time to go through the history
Yes.
of it, but there's some history that's connected with St. Kitts and Nevis
Yes.
with the breadfruit. Let's go with that same ship there too.
You roasting breadfruit right there.
I don't really like the roast.
Yes.
Yet. Let's go. That's the calabash there. Right. Right, the coconut. I think we don't touch the coconut already. Right, so let's go. Let's see, what's the last thing? Right, the potato.
Okay.
Right, this is another thing that was introduced by the Indians too, the potato.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
The word potato is an Indian word too. But we know once the Africans got their hand on this thing here, you saw innovation and creativity
Definitely.
and all kind of things.
You can make porridge with the flour same way, bake with it, beautiful.
All kind of things.
Yes, definitely.
That's one thing with the Africans. Go down some more. I think Easter now everybody was doing this thing here with it. Again, this is something the Africans put their handiwork to. Okay, you cannot zoom in on that. That's an old map of Nevis. I think you could purchase this map at the
museum?
Yeah, the museum.
Yes.
It's the Isles map of Nevis. Here, you know, Nevis had 3 roads. Where you're living, I think you're close to the upper round road.
Okay.
Up where you took me there.
Yeah.
Then you also had the middle road,
okay,
which is now the main road. And the
yes,
main road now also runs into the lower road.
Okay.
So there was the lower road that took you all the way from New River.
Yes.
All the way to town and all the way across.
And then the mountain.
Then there was one in the middle and then one in the mountain that you took you around the island quickly.
Yes. I
So
hear
you took
people
it
talk about that.
You reach from one end to the next in a quick time, and then you just walk down to whichever village.
I got you.
Okay.
But there was a serious terrain to get a road right around the mountain.
Yeah.
So
Okay, I think, go down some more. I think I have it highlighted. That's New River.
Yeah, nice.
You know, there were 3 new rivers.
No, I didn't know that.
3.
Really?
Yeah, this map has it. Go down a little further. You'll see this map.
Okay. So
Yeah. Okay, oh boy. The people don't can't see too good, but Coconut Walk
Yes, that's
had its own owner.
Mm-hmm.
The owner for Coconut Walk was different from the owner for New River proper that you know.
Okay.
Okay? So you had Coconut Walk, New River.
Yeah.
And you had that other New River. And then you had where you are called Webb's Ground. That was Webb's New River. So on this map you will see Webb's New River. Look just under where you see St. George and see if you don't see Webb's New River right there. Yeah.
Okay, I see.
Right. Right. So Walter Maynard, the Maynard family had owned them property there. Let's continue down. The next slide.
That's a monument there.
Yeah. We passed some important ones for
Yes.
thing. The reason why that is shown is because we passed the one down at Coconut Walk. That's a lime keel.
Mm-hmm.
That's the largest one in the West Indies. That's in St. Kitts.
That's
At
Brimstone Hill.
yes.
That's Brimstone Hill. That's all. Yes.
100% African labor. Okay?
Yes.
100%
Of course.
African labor.
You know, I was just in Sinking to collect some sugar cane, right?
That's
To
Brimstone
plant
Hill.
at New River, and when you're down coming to below underground, we park the boat yard there, and look it up on Brimstone Hill up there. So
Yes.
that's a serious monument you're looking
Yes.
up there now. Cause you have to dig out that cliff, take up all them big stone. That's a serious.
And that is one of the reasons why we have to preserve
Definitely.
the Bath Hotel also. You see how they have preserved and protected
Yes.
the Brimstone Hill Fortress.
Definitely.
It is the history of it is so important that it transcends St. Kitts and Nevis. It is important to the whole world. The same thing with the Bath Hotel.
Of
The
course.
history is so profound that it's not just us, the descendants of the Africans,
Yes.
that has a connection to it. The rest of the world too.
Of course. I remember there was a time, a couple of years back, in the National Trust, they were showing some book with the documents of the field slave, our ancestors. And I said to my virgin boy, if you go think it, I need to see the book. I mean, virgin jump.
They have the document of the registry of slaves.
Yes, and
they have them.
They were showing it in when they were well protected.
The
and stuff like that.
The archives has it.
Has it still?
But they were showing it in the National Trust.
Yes, so we went. So when my virgin,
It's
me and my
still
virgin
there.
went in the way.
It's in the archive. So
In
you
the
could,
archive,
you
yes.
could go and get a look and
Okay.
trace
But when those was protected, so you have to get their computer screens and different stuff. I mean, it's a shame that who goes there is a tourist, but the locals them, I guess they feel like they don't want to see stuff like that. But it's to actually see stuff documented. You know what I mean? 8-year-old slaves and I said these my children.
I remember who you have to thank for that.
Yes.
The same gentleman I spoke about,
of course,
Lawyer James
yes,
Stephen.
yes,
He was the one
yes.
who started that whole thing.
Yes.
Not just in St. Kitts Nevis, you know.
Of course.
All the other islands have that same thing. We're coming to the end, right?
Yep.
Right, we're at the end. So, Bankie, I think I shut off my mouth a lot. Yeah?
Man,
we have time to go through the comments. They start to cuss us off now.
We've been all over the place.
They understand the circumstances.
Right.
I mean,
it's just to get the
information,
the knowledge out.
Yes, and you did a wonderful job. You understand? Trust me. I mean, you couldn't put it any better. You understand? You already documented. It's just for each of the viewers and those, at the sound of your voice, to get a copy of this, and it's important for them themselves to read it along with their children.
Get the inspiration.
And if they're buying a gift for anybody, my wife know, I like to get books. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, definitely. I take up in my spare time and read. Even if I read for 5 minutes, it's knowledge that's gonna stick, and that's the beautiful. And nobody can take that from you. And what you have done here gonna surpass for thousands of years. We need to document our own history. We need to write it ourselves. Because nobody gonna write how you're gonna write it. You're writing it for you and your family and those who ain't born as yet. You understand? To continue. So it shows that everything for existence revolves around agriculture, but somehow we're not grasping it. We just want to continue giving our land, and that we don't have to believe in our people. My biggest thing, if you're going to give a man who come here who not got no money and come with the idea, $100 million.
$100 million.
But I want 300 million.
To buy your land.
To buy your land, and then we build something. And then give you some mediocre work. Actually, somebody coming in?
Yeah, man.
Right.
Greetings, alive. Oh, you look like they're gone.
Carlo, good evening. All right, they missed that? Okay. So it's just, so we hope along the line, our policy makers will start to see at least a $50 million, a $70 million invested in agriculture, and this money is put into training our people, you understand, build infrastructure, and then agro-processing units and all kind of different stuff where we can employ and believe in our people, because we can do it. We don't need to bring in people outside to do no kind of agriculture growing, whether it's marijuana, whether it's when it comes to agro-processing, whether it's hamon, whatever it is, believe in your people. Very important. Caller, good evening.
All right, good evening. I wanted the guest to say the name of his book again, and also to let us know where in Nevis and St. Kitts we could find his book. And I want to encourage everyone to go and buy his book, and also buy a second copy for a friend or family member as a gift.
Beautiful.
Thank you very much.
I've known this young man for over 40 years, so it's definitely worth the investment.
Yes.
That's it. Thank you very much, Lenore. You had an excellent show tonight. Knowledge that I've never had before. I'm leaving tonight much more enriched than I was at the beginning of the show tonight. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Carlo.
Carlo, I appreciate you for giving your insight, and definitely I'm sure much others really appreciate you coming in. It's been a long time coming in, and we definitely got to continue this conversation. You know what I'm saying? You've done a beautiful job. Giving over the information, and as you see, the people are really appreciating the information.
Yeah, and Bankie, I really want to close out where I started
yes.
by thanking you for doing the work that you're doing. I was very frightened when knowing that I grew up on one of my favorite fruit tree.
Yes.
Apart from the mango and the sugar apple and the guinea, was the tangerine tree.
Yes.
Almost every yard.
True.
Had a tangerine tree.
And shaddock. Of course.
And I remember one time I there on my bed lying down and he hit me. I don't know when last I see a tangerine, much less a tangerine tree. Grown here.
Of course, them around.
I said, what's going on here?
Yes.
So, and then I started to inquire if there is not one tangerine tree left in St. Kitts and Nevis.
Yes.
And I believe came up,
Really?
They say a Rasta man in Nevis. They say a Rasta man in Nevis
Do what?
got a tangerine tree.
Of course.
And
I got
listen,
tangerine tree plant.
Bankie, when you told me that you got tangerine,
Of course, I have tangerine tree plant. Yeah, and plus I have other friends who have tangerine tree plant
I could
also.
but thank God
Of course.
for people like you.
Of
And
course.
get, you
And
know,
there are people who have shadow tree plant and stuff like that. Because you see, me alone can't do it, you know. And they are out there who plant in the same way. You understand? And we encourage each other. And it's all about you all to share. And somehow we don't like to share around here.
you do the ELOing thing, right?
Everything. It does,
Well, in the spirit of the ancestors,
definitely.
you know, no money you surpass.
Definitely.
If
I'll
you
get
could,
you one.
If you could get an ELO in,
Don't worry, I'll get you one.
I'm leaving these books here
Mm-hmm.
for you to present
To who?
to whoever you
So we have
feel
4 books
fit.
there.
Yes.
So we gonna give away next week.
Right?
Oh.
Definitely.
They sell, you know, usually
How would they sell for? And give out your contact if anybody who are
right.
interested and
The
stuff like
book
that.
is called Places of Memory,
Yes.
the experiences and contributions of the enslaved Africans
Yes.
and St. Kitts and Nevis.
Yes.
Okay?
Mm-hmm. It's sold
It is not on the internet yet. It is for local people.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we have the diaspora. So I'm going to put it out there eventually.
Mm-hmm.
You could get it at the National Trust in St. Kitts. I too would sell. And here in Nevis, you could get it, I think, down at the Nevis Historical and Conservation Society.
Okay.
Soon to be the Nevis Trust.
Yes.
And also from Keith Glasgow.
Mm-hmm.
That's another gentleman who
Definitely.
really supports me a lot
Yes,
in
nice.
what I do. I also do a program called Rooted.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Rooted in history.
Yes.
Really and truly rooted in values.
Nice.
Where I try to uplift people by
Yes.
sharing the ancestors, the stories and so forth, their legacy here.
Mm-hmm.
But remember I told you I was raised by old people.
Of course, of course.
And they always tell you stories.
True.
All the stories true.
Of course.
But they're not just telling you to give you news. At the end of the story is a lesson.
Definitely.
And so that is the same spirit in which I do it, you know.
Of course, of
so I've
course.
been doing it a lot of places. And I think now that we have this situation called COVID,
Yes.
I think it is night time that I think. Because what it does, once you start, and it's amazing the effect on the young children. I've done it in schools. And the way the young people, I mean, they don't even look like they want to blink their eye.
Mm-hmm.
From start to finish,
Nice. They're in tune.
glued.
They're in tune.
And you could tell something has changed.
The interest is there. Because they don't know the information, so it's new to them.
It lifts them up.
Yes, it's new to them. Yes.
I remember doing it at Gingerland High. And they were saying the fifth farmers, those who want to do the CXC.
Mm-hmm.
Lo and behold, 15 minutes into the thing, the people from the A3 and the A4 pull the chair.
Really?
They didn't. Nobody include them. They include
Yes.
themselves.
Nice, nice.
And the teachers were saying, but you know, we can't get them to stay in a class. But they came on their own volition.
Nice. Good.
That was the year when Gingerland High School topped the charts and got, I think it was either 96 or 98 percentage pass.
Wow.
It was the same kid Glasgow whose
Yes.
idea was it to take it into.
Beautiful,
school.
beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the right,
It's the right thing to do.
and we all should support
Yes.
something like this. You understand? History is very important. We got to know where, and then your mind, you're gonna see things different.
The price,
Yes.
I cannot control how much the other retailers will sell it for.
Yes. Yeah.
But Bankie, anybody listening to your show tonight,
Yes.
I would instruct Kate Glasgow to sell the book for 50 EC.
Yes.
50 EC is less than how
Of
much
course.
it costs to.
Printed.
Right.
I got you.
And if they also contact me,
Yes.
$50 the same way.
Definitely.
What's
I think
the
I-
But you
contact?
can give.
I think I
four
want to
to
give away
anyone.
one tonight.
You could-
I think I want to give away one for those who are listening. Because we're talking about Sir Thomas Warner and when he came, what year did he landed? I want to see if anybody are paying attention because this is school, you know. And if you sit into the front of the class, if you to the back of play, you might miss it, but I want to actually remember, right? When Sir Thomas Warner landed,
Yeah.
the date. Anyone who called in, you know what I mean, answer that question. When did Sir Thomas Warner landed in St. Kitts? What year? If you're paying attention, if you keep your notes, because I keep your notes. All right, JT Taylor's right on point.
Yeah, boy.
You see?
That's a folk man.
Beautiful thing. You understand?
Yeah.
It means the students are paying attention,
Yes.
and that's what it's all about. You understand?
Yeah.
So definitely, JD Taylor,
JD Taylor seems
have
to be
a
a
bouquet
powerful
secure
guy.
for you, and that's what it's all about. They're in tune, and it's important because you're not going to learn this information anywhere else. You know what I'm saying? So we really have to.
That's the unique thing about
Yes.
it, Bankie. That,
and I really appreciate you coming. You understand?
I'm glad that you
really
invited
appreciate it. Because we all have a lot to share, and we all have, as human beings, have a say when it comes to agriculture. I don't care whether you're a child, your age group, once you can speak, you understand? Because food is a part of our basic way of survival. And it's important that you know where food coming from, and especially your health. Okay, in these times there is COVID, and let me tell you something. A lot of people contact me about this vaccine stuff and this COVID stuff and all this stuff. I mean, I just got to talk. I can't have to say something because they really contact me, and people are really, you know what I mean, frustrated, especially how the information is getting across, and so a certain sector of society is very frustrated. Because, well, let me say this to the PM and the Premier, you understand? Why people are not taking the vaccine. I'm just speaking and what they tell me how they feel about it. It's a trial phase that they say that they understand, because you see, we speak that our people are 98% and 99% literacy. You understand? Which means they can read, and all people are informed in a technology age. They not just listen to hearsays. They do the research, and they do concern about their health and what goes inside their body. That's the main thing. They don't want to be a part of a trial, and ain't nothing where no matter what you could say, they're not going to take part of it, because that percentage charge, what you're saying, 70%, and then you say, oh, then in something more we want. They really want 100%. Always speak truth to your people. And anybody who love their people should not want them to be a guinea pig. You can't put no other way about it. In a way around it, and you can't just, and now we come back to agriculture again. In no diversification, we gone back to Massa. The same tourist boat, who gonna benefit in us benefiting. So in me, we had the chance, whereas, cause I know this thing ain't gonna be no good play now, because when I hear the Prime Minister say, until the COVID reach, we now close the border. So we could have closed, and now we set to close anyway, and then now our health is our food and our injection. I just want to say that because I get along with everybody. You understand? And people come to me, and they're not reasonable. What do you think? What are you gonna do? Always go with your first instinct. No, my daughter sitting here on my right, so you change to watch my daughter, you're not gonna have a choice. Everybody have a choice, and once people can be free thinkers, because when you make a decision, you do it on your own, then you have that responsibility. When something is forced upon you, then who gonna be responsible for that when done? That is something serious. I speak for my people, you know.
You want me to comment on it?
For sure. I like a comment.
Right. But you know,
I could go on the table.
What's your
yes.
Before you go, you got to leave your contact information.
Oh,
you know.
yes. My number is 661 9060. 661 9060.
You're saying something? You want to comment?
Yeah, the thing.
Yes.
What I do, I am one who encourage people to take the vaccine.
Definitely.
And it is almost along the same reason why most people are saying don't take it.
Yes.
People are saying don't take it because they don't trust.
Of course.
The efficacy, the science and all them things there.
Yes.
They believe that if they take it,
of course,
something bad. But the same thing and worse, 10 times worse, is true about the virus. The virus is also created under conspiracy, you know. It is a virus the likes of which we have never seen. It is clear that man has typhoid.
You sure we'll be at the ear next week?
He come in and the ear next week?
I could say it clear.
With what he drop.
If you're afraid, what I'm saying is that if you're afraid of the vaccine, you should be 100 times more afraid of the virus.
Yes.
Because the virus, remember, people look like they forget.
Man-made.
When the virus first came out, it had all the characteristics of being manufactured in a lab to
Of
do
course.
one thing.
Of course,
To destroy the sons
Definitely.
and daughters of men.
Definitely.
No matter what color you be.
Yes.
Okay? And it was terrifying. I lost people from my village.
Yes.
My mother and my sister had it. Mother worked in a nursing home.
Yes.
And nearly all the old people inside they had it. So
Yes.
she ended up getting, she nearly
Of
dead.
course, of course, of course.
Luckily, she was into this thing, what you're doing here. Agriculture, the natural
Yes.
herbs and so
Of
forth.
course. Of course.
And that is what saved her. At
So
the
it's
time, there was
important.
nothing named vaccine.
Definitely.
Them old ground provision in she body still in she system.
That's the whole point.
All them bush she was able to get.
Yes.
But my sister live in the same house.
Yes. As you say, your sister got a
Had-
big up.
Had to get it, yeah,
Yes.
Joy.
Joy, of
Joy
course.
got it.
Yes.
So the disease is real.
Of course.
And it bad, bad, bad.
Bad.
And all the bad things I hear people talking about the vaccine.
Yes.
About 6 people dead with blood clot here.
Yes.
6 you here, you know.
Yes.
And then somebody might say, oh, another one dead with...
Yes.
It's thousands of people dead
Yes.
every day.
Of course.
People had to be burning up bodies. Nobody could see their grandmother and their mother bury. With the virus, it look like people forget. And so I'm saying, the kind of force behind the virus,
Yes.
it's going to make sure that the virus that get into the body of
Everybody.
everybody on this planet.
So it's a plan then.
Man all up in the Arctic, I catch the virus.
You saying something?
But I'm going to finish.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me finish that.
Yes.
And so I'm saying, there was a time when people were praying for a vaccine. The vaccine ain't perfect, but you said something that is correct, Bankie.
Yes.
You got to, when you come in with these things, you got to always come with the truth
Of course.
and come clean,
That's it.
and don't send the message like you want people take the vaccine
Yes.
for this thing and that the other thing. Come straight with it.
That's the
Otherwise,
concern.
people done already.
Of course.
Head done mix up already.
Yes.
But if it is that there's something behind so that every man, woman, and child
Have to get it.
gonna get this virus here,
Yes.
then I think I'd rather get the vaccine.
Yes.
Because if it's only 6 out of 7 million
Yes.
are dead from the vaccine, and 500 and something thousand people
Yes.
are dead from the virus,
Yes.
you could see your chances.
I understand your
Okay.
point of view.
We'll let-
So-
Yes.
It's hard. It's
Really,
hard.
that's it. Take it away.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm gonna be a bit controversial, but
Yeah.
it's hard for me to believe that the solution is from the same person who caused the problem. And it wasn't too like when all of this was happening, when the borders were closing, I went on Netflix because I know like how these people work. They like to. It's almost like prophecy, you know.
Yeah.
God, He gives us prophecy in His word, and the enemy tries to. He tries to imitate God. So he tries to do the same thing. He will also show his acts before he puts them out.
Okay.
And he does that through media. So you can't say you didn't see this music video or this The Simpsons, you know, all those things that have predictions in it. And so I went on Netflix and I saw like this movie where, I forgot the name, but basically this vaccine, this disease was invented, and it started killing, and it started killing off, like, I believe it was the army, the army men, and it had reached to a point where it had gotten out of hand because it was spreading globally, and the vaccine actually, it mutated, just how this one is mutated, just how this corona thing is going on, and so it just showed me like these things are planned, and this was just conditioning so that when these things happen, I already have like it in my subconscious. Even though I don't remember the movie, it's like I'm now prepared.
Was bad?
I don't
The
really.
vaccine has been the savior, you know? The vaccine has been the savior, you know?
I don't remember it, but they had to come up with a vaccine.
vaccine
Yes, of
exactly,
course, of
just
course.
to save the people. Yeah.
Yes.
What I don't like too is, and the thing I don't like about it is the thing that make me not afraid of the vaccine.
Yes.
Is that because the vaccine is going to be a cash cow, you know.
Of course, I got you.
And if it's going to be a cash cow, they're not going to really do it too well. Let me not say it.
Yes.
But what I'm thinking is that the vaccine to me is weak, because I'm already hearing that you will have to take another shot, what they call a booster shot.
So which is similar to a yearly shot that
Yeah.
happened in the
You
US
mean
then.
that, so it's not going to be in your body for too long to do the
Yes.
work.
I got you.
So that limitation again should lessen the fear, because the virus though, the raw virus in your body, it lingers. They're finding it in all parts of people's body when they think that the test has come out negative.
Yes.
They realize it's in the person's feces, it's in the person's sperm,
Of course,
you're all
of
up in the
course.
person's brain, in the
Yes.
spleen, all kind of place. Not going anywhere. But the vaccine got a short shelf life in your body. You got to take another booster. So that fact also should kind of lessen the fear. Okay?
One of the things I was trying to understand.
But I think what the short, long and short
yes,
of it,
yes,
Bankie,
yes, of course.
it looked like the virus worse than the vaccine.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But for the average man out there so who have concern, because people are, you know what I mean,
And they're right to
frustrated.
have concern.
You understand about their jobs and all these different stuff. Because one of the things is that you're already making minimum wage and stuff like that, and then you have been told you might have to take a test every 2 weeks, which is going to cost maybe $250 or whatever it is.
The language
Well,
is harsh.
they're making enough money anyway to take one test. Much less 2 tests every 2 weeks out of your own pocket. So by the time you're taking all this thing up in your nose, something don't trigger off up the if you're shoving up your nose every 2 weeks. So after that is very often. That makes no sense to me. That cannot be a right way to every 2 weeks. And then you get the vaccine. You get not the vaccine. Sorry, the virus. You're putting quarantine for 2 weeks. You test positive, and then you're back. Then you're good. Virus gone. So which means what is the percentage rate of catching your body recover is so high. Those are people concerned against too.
Okay, yes.
That
is something
those are the
out
keys
there too.
concern.
Yeah.
You
And
understand?
you'll be correct in saying it, because
Yes.
I heard it as an argument of not to take the vaccine.
Yes.
And
because remember,
I am not the biggest scholar.
Of course.
I can't refute it, because what they're saying is that less people,
yes,
when you check the recovery rate,
yes,
is very high.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Yes.
But then I also heard somebody say, you don't want to be in the small percentage of those who don't recover.
The percent, well, true, because I mean, as I say, I mean, everything goes within your immune system.
it's
Can you just say
something-
your mom good because all them grown food she don't eat and
It was a
and-
miracle.
and
Yeah.
all these different
It
stuff
was a
like that.
miracle.
You understand what I mean? So
Miracle.
your immune system
Yeah.
have a lot to do with it. And then if the virus is gonna fight against your immune system
Yes.
and weakening it,
Yeah.
then that's the next thing there again.
And
Can you compromise your own immune system?
What I'm proud about,
yes,
both of them, my sister and my mom,
yes,
they live in the United States. But if they got to hunt down the whole of the place to find some
of course.
ground provision and some
Good.
Dr. Fish and all them,
Good,
I don't
good.
wonder how she find Dr. Fish,
yeah.
but she's stuck
Yes.
to
The
what she
culture.
was raised up.
That's the
and
whole point.
I believe that played a big part.
Definitely.
Because
It's all about your health.
People,
Yes.
other people who work
Definitely.
with her,
Yes.
done dead.
Of course. Is your health, your food is your medicine, and it's very important, and that's why we come here from week to week and encourage people to go to their food, eat local, and at least engage your farm and know how the food is grown. Also, just visit the farm and all this. If come and tell you, oh, do this and do that. People can tell you anything they want to.
Yeah.
But because they want a sale. So these things are very important. So I must big up my classmate Joy, my very good friend. Definitely, I
That's
mean,
my
we used to go to
sister.
school to go. It's a small world, eh?
That's my sister.
You just
Yeah.
never do.
Yeah, I
It's
was
a small
shocked when
world.
you tell me that
I'm
both
telling
of you
you.
were in class,
I mean,
yeah.
she just disappeared upon me. You understand? Been asked you, and then end up on furniture
We
again.
should ask Birdman. Birdman live in the States, so if he does say Jai, because it's supposed to be.
No problem. Yeah. But I mean, we talk from time to time, you know what I mean? So just want to say, I mean, my classmate Joy, I mean, good evening to you. I mean, hope you're doing well and everything like that. You understand? But I'm telling you, I mean, it's appreciate. I mean, really, really appreciate you coming over, and I forget to go over back to St. Kitts.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, to see your family. To
Family.
stay here all night.
Family.
I mean, we want to get out of here. You understand? But definitely, Jetty Taylor, I need to know how you want to get the book.
Oh,
you understand?
he told me how to bring it.
You have to bring it. You know how to?
Sandra Willett.
That's
Sandrine.
Yeah.
Sandrine, I guess you can.
Willett, you say?
Yes.
For the hero, Willett?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So I guess you could autograph the book for Sandrine Willett. Take one of the book right there and.
Well, he said that she will get it to
To him.
Or
So
to him,
I
to
should
Jetty
autograph it
Taylor,
to
to
Jetty
Jetty Taylor.
Taylor.
No, you speak. Well, that's not a problem. So we'll get it autograph, Jetty Taylor. You know what I mean, to you, and then I'll jump it up by Sanjin. I mean, sometime tomorrow and some stuff like that.
So
She'll
just
definitely get
straight
it.
Jetty Taylor.
Yeah, you work with that for now.
he work with.
So it's another Tuesday evening. I mean, everything agriculture. I hope you guys enjoy the show. Next week, the plan really is to get back Mr. Duo and continue down history lane and continue where we left off with Mr. Duo. This time we're gonna do it Zoom. Cause he told me his daughter should be on island, and then at
Mr.
least
Duo,
William Duo. Yes,
another hero. You know, he's
definitely
excellent.
Of course. So we're gonna continue. I mean, history lane. I mean, when it comes to everything agriculture.
He's a
With,
master.
with Mr. Duo,
He's a master.
for somebody who is 96 years young and just ticking better than me, you understand? It's amazing.
He's stronger than us.
How this man knows this wealth of knowledge, and you understand, and what was doing back then and what we're doing wrong now. So, Mr. Stapleton, Leonard, I mean,
Always a
greatly
my pleasure,
appreciated.
for sure.
I mean, we'll keep in touch, keep in touch, and we'll get you back on the show throughout the year in a few months. And just want to tell, I mean, the viewers and the listeners, definitely you're going to get a copy of this book. And also, if you enjoy all the shows on, 2020 Vision Radio, especially everything agriculture, I mean, what is $1 sponsorship? I mean, if you have 100 viewers, 1,000 viewers, $1 add up. You understand? One cocoa full basket. You don't have to give $100, whatever it is. I mean, Mr. Duo will be grateful. I mean, if you see X, you can give X, you go see me, and we'll definitely give it to Mr. Duo, and you keep the radio show going over and over. So, little is much. Never feel that you don't have enough to give. But it's $5, believe me, everything adds up. So, until next week, I mean, tune in again. We'll have Mr. William Duo, and we'll set up we call it with the camera, the Zoom.
The Zoom, yeah, man.
Definitely
yeah,
we'll
man,
set that up and definitely get to see who Mr. Duo is.
A giant.
You understand?
Giant.
So, until then, everything agriculture, and see you guys talk to you next week.
I'm here saying for us to represent for the Nevis Everything Agriculture Show. Big up Bankie, DJ X-Way, So tune in, and if you're on the internet, zoom in. One love, from the Nevis Everything Agriculture Show. Peace to the man. Ain't no place like home. Me no know about you.
It's Everything Agriculture with Bankie and Company, your weekly educational agriculture show on 2020 Vision Radio. Tune in every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. for us to learn, share, and grow together. Call in on WhatsApp at 1-869-669-7312. Using Digicel, call 766-7312. And our landline number is 469-7953. You can call us on the overseas line at 917-460-2187. From farming to livestock to fishing to agro-processing, we talk everything agriculture.
Our farmers and fishermen are our unsung.
COVID-19 is an infectious disease caused